and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's very special, very large, and one of the biggest podcasts I have ever done in my entire 4-year YouTube history. Welcome to Primetime Gaming. Obviously, we are here tonight to talk about our predictions of the Xbox Bethesda showcase happening, well, folks, in just a couple of days. We have a total of 16 guests, including the panel, that are going to be rolling through this evening. No gameplay. This is as raw as you could possibly get. Again, there's no border. There's 10 of us at one time. We have 6 people here. First, let's introduce our first guest, Lord King Xbox Swami. You know him from the Iron Lords, the best, biggest heart dude I personally know. King David, you have graced us as being the number one spot for tonight's big, huge show. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. When you gave out that call, I was definitely proud to be part of the chosen few. We have a huge lineup of incredible talent here today, and honestly, I can't wait to hear everybody else's take on it. But thank you again for having me, guys.
Well, look, King. The bottom line is you have been talking up Xbox for quite some time. More specifically, this show. I've said this on many platforms, many programs, many shows that I've personally done and I've guested on. Microsoft finds themselves to be in a very, very unique position. They are coming off of a 10 out of 10 show last year. They're coming off of a year where they were Publisher of the Year.
Yep.
They opened the 2022 campaign with the biggest gaming news in the history of the platform as that we know as gaming, and that is that they were going to go out and buy ABK. Now they have to deliver on the games. I want to get what you think they need to open with, what they need to close with, and more importantly, what do you personally want there as a surprise that's going to make it a 10 out of 10 show for you?
Okay. Not to hold everybody. What I think they should open with is Forza Motorsports.
Okay.
All right. Everybody talks about the burger, fries, and the shake. That's the pillars of Microsoft, and I want to see that burgers, fries, and shake be represented at this show. To let everybody know we haven't forgot what got us here, and we won't let anybody that has stayed with us during this period of time down. I want to see Forza Motorsports open the show, showing how it looks in all its splendor, the same way it looked on the trailer. I want to see that there, and I want to see gameplay with ray tracing inside the actual gameplay and not in a separate mode. No shots at anybody else, but that's exactly what I want to see. I want in the middle of the show, I want to see Halo campaign, another part of the single player campaign. And I want to see the multiplayer aspect. I want to see Forge, and I want to see the co-op. I want to see a roadmap for the Halo Infinite there. All right, and then I want to see something from Gears. I want to see I don't know what, to be honest with you. Is it the Marcus Phoenix collection?
Yeah, that's rumored, brother. And
Yeah.
Special Nick's been talking about that for quite some time. I hope he's right.
Yeah, me too.
King, what if, even if it's not the Marcus Phoenix collection, what if it is a CG trailer for Gear 6 that gives you a little bit of idea what the story is?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, listen, I'm down for anything Gears. I want those 3 pillars to be upheld. Right? We got all these studios, but we don't forget our lineage. That's my thought to it. But I think this show is going to be about big budget bangers, right? I want to hear the music from Indiana Jones. I want to hear the whip crack, and I want to see gameplay of Indiana Jones. And then I want to hear the I want to see GoldenEye. I want to. That's what I'm looking for. And then I want to hear the Mandalorian music, and I want to see a trailer for the Mandalorian coming exclusive to the Xbox platform. And to close the show, to slam the door on everybody else, I want to see Starfield. I want Starfield
That's dude.
to actually.
If they put out what you're putting down, that's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. But see, okay, I waffle on the last pick because my true heart last pick is Call of Duty. That's my true heart last pick. To show that it'll be launching in Game Pass this year. But for fan service and to really drive the narrative home, like this game isn't forgotten, this game is here, this game is what we're standing on, this is the future, Starfield. But if I can swap out the two, I'm going to Call of Duty Big Banger. I want a big budget type of feeling.
Okay.
I want them to show their strength. So I think that'll definitely do some stuff. And then you have the stuff sprinkled inside the middle. But that's what I'm looking for.
Dude, those are incredibly strong picks. Hey. So your surprise, your personal surprise, you want it to be Call of Duty because it's launching in the Game Pass? Do you think that's possible, King?
I think the deal is really close as far as them finishing off the Activision acquisition. And if it's timed properly, it's just them paying themselves. I don't care how much money you have to pay. You spend the money over
there.
Pay
yourself, damn it.
I'll get my money back in November when we close the deal.
King said all things are possible through the Most High.
Yeah, exactly. So
hey, but
I love it. I love
King,
it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
See, my thing about Starfield is I'm wondering if at the show you're going to get is maybe a story trailer, and then they're going to save the Todd Howard come out in the bomber jacket for the Tuesday show.
Maybe
Wednesday show, whenever that is.
Tuesday.
So would you be okay if you don't really get gameplay from Starfield? But
no, I'm not okay with that at all.
Okay.
Even
if they do the deep dive 2 days later.
No, don't you do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. Don't show it at all. All right. If you're not gonna show gameplay and you're gonna be like, oh, Tuesday we'll do the gameplay, but see, for them not to show Starfield at this show, that will be a huge L.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that.
They have to show gameplay. They have to show your character moving around on the screen. That's what I'm looking for. So please, Microsoft, if you're listening, and I don't really care about that game that much, but its perception around that one particular game is really high for some weird reason.
Yep.
If you're gonna show it, then show it.
So I guess and I know we got to move on. So this is the last thing I'll say about this for now. My thing is, what if my conspiracy theory is not true? Meaning delay is related to the Bethesda,
it never was,
the
brother.
ABK Activision. We don't know that. We will find out. But what if the game was delayed because it needed to be delayed? And if they show it right now, they're going to have a Craig moment, so they don't show it at all.
Then, that's fine.
I said that before, right? And I don't believe visually the game will give you a Craig moment. There was some minor aspects that they weren't comfortable with as far as the flight controls on the ship. I just finished playing Corvus. It's in Game Pass right now. Go get that. And that was one of my things that I've been hard on Microsoft with. Get those games that you showed me out. And they did. They're doing it. They're moving. Thank you for putting Corvus there. Now I'm playing Corvus, and the ship feels like a Wing Commander. When you first played Wing Commander, that feeling of control of a spaceship. So if I don't get that from Starfield, and you're supposed to be in space, then that's a big problem. So I think they want to fix it. I think somebody played Corvus and was like, this is how the ship is supposed to feel. Mm-hmm. And if our ship doesn't feel like this, then we not ready yet. And that's it, man. But
dude,
enough of your time. You got a ton of people. I love you guys.
We love you too, King. Thank you so much,
man.
brother. We again looking forward. We got something coming up, you and I, we can't talk about, but
yeah.
We gonna be me, you, and
we'll talk about it soon.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna go to the back and I'm gonna sit down and watch.
Yeah, by all means, brother. Thank you. We gotta welcome in Luke Lore, Insipid Ghost, my brother. We haven't hung out in a while. Mr. Halo himself, regardless of what that Mr. Badbit says about you, I'm still in your corner.
Thank you,
How
sir.
are you, brother? First of all, welcome to the program. Thank you for taking 10 or 15 minutes out of your evening to come hang out with us and give us your big picks for this show. This show is expected to really hit. And Microsoft says it. I mean, listen, they're giving us a 90-plus minute show to open, and 2 days later, another 90 minutes. That means that they have a lot to show. What for you makes this a 10 out of 10, Luke? What do you need to see open? And more importantly, what do you close this show? And for you, what is the one surprise that you want to see there?
Well, you're dreaming big, Boom. It's good to see you. I appreciate hanging out with you, man. Thank you for letting me be among these legendary people. You've got them all tonight, so it's an honor to get to see you. My schedule usually doesn't let me, so I'm beyond thrilled.
The stars aligned for us.
They did, my friend. I took notes. I prepped.
Yes.
I got
That's
notes.
the
here.
Luke Lore we know and love.
That's right. When as an exercise before this week, Boom, I thought about every game that I know about that in Xbox's pantheon without looking anything up, right? Like as a content creator, and I thought of 13 titles that we know are already in development, and that's a lot when you're Xbox to say people know about 13 games that have not yet come out, and then you've got their ongoing titles, which I counted 5 of. So right now, I know about 18 of the things that Xbox Studios are working on. That means I know a lot of what they're working on.
Right.
So the stuff that we don't know, there's a lot to get excited about. It's also like, all right, you told us about 18 projects. I need to see gameplay from the 13 ones that haven't happened yet. Gameplay is what's missing. They did a great job. I tweeted the other day, they've won E3 several times in a row, in my opinion. But we consistently say, all right, they need to deliver here. And that's not something that's afforded to Nintendo or Sony in the same way. It's in the spirit of E3, I mean. So they've got to deliver. They've still got to deliver again. And I think you open up your show, you got some heavy hitters in here, but you open up your show with something you know in Forza. I know it's a little bit similar to King, but I'm not saying motorsport. I'm saying Horizon 5 expansion. Open up, hey, there's roughly 20 million of you now that have played Forza Horizon. Here's what you can play next. They need to show us what they've got for 2022. Show us that Forza Horizon expansion off the bat.
Yeah.
Honoring the players that, as King actually eloquently said and just nailed it for me, the ones that got you there, right? So you're opening with your Forza Horizon expansion, and then it's time to see some Redfall and some Starfield. You're going to see them both. You need to see gameplay of both and know why you should care that they were delayed. They need to let you know, hey, we didn't forget about it. We moved the dates. Beyond that, throughout the show, I'm staying hyped if I'm seeing Indiana Jones. I think it's time to see Indiana Jones, where they've been strengthening ties with Disney. Yeah, they got to show Indiana. They've been working hard with Disney, starting with that Sea of Thieves stuff. And they've got the special content for it's like an expansion app that lets you go around the parks and whatnot. It's coming to Xbox first in early access. It's time to see Indiana Jones. Through there, maybe they pop in some grounded and flight sim updates because those are some of their ongoing titles. What I don't think you see yet are two things, Boom. I don't think you see Project Tatanka, the Halo Infinite BR. I don't think you see that until Showcase Extended. I think they keep Halo out of this main one and let other titles shine. Then I also don't think you see Hellblade 2. I think Hellblade 2 is given to Jeff Keighley, and they're letting that be the Keighley relationship to get through Summer Game Fest or Game Awards. Or
well, we've seen a lot of Hellblade, Luke.
We haven't seen Hellblade gameplay in motion like a tutorial or something where they're going through the game. So I think they give Hellblade to Keighley. I think that's their olive branch. Continue building that relationship there because they've got Game Awards, Gamescom, and Summer Game Fest, and they need to give them something so that they're saying the words Xbox on those shows. And I've got a few dream things. I want to see an Arkham collection,
Please,
a proper
sell
one.
your dreams, brother. Sell them.
I want to see the Arkham collection coming to Game Pass day one. That's a real Arkham collection with all 4 of the Arkham titles remastered onto Xbox Series S and X, so current gen only. There was one on Xbox One, but let's upscale these bad boys and bring them in to the new age. And I want that to be something that they're marketing with Xbox, because WB is working for Hogwarts and Gotham on the Sony side. So they bring some Batman to our console that way. And then I think you end the show after a Banjo reveal, of course. The very end of the show, the last thing that happens, Boom, it takes approximately 2.5 seconds. The K and the I drop down, and you hear Killer Instinct, and then nothing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. All right, I'm on board this hype train of Killer Instinct. But smoke, there's fire. But they don't tell you when. They don't tell you how. They just acknowledge, hey, we know you want it.
I just
Boom.
want to say this live on the air. You have moved past Joe, Mr. Badbit, in every way possible, shape, or form.
He's an ugly kid.
I'm just saying it right here live.
Yep.
So Joe could listen and cry.
That's right. That's right. If he's listening, tell your mama said I love her. All right.
I love it. Luke, listen, brother. That dude, wow, you painted an incredible picture. I love the clothes. I love that you mentioned Banjo-Kazooie. And folks, go to my Twitter page. Check out what I said. I talked directly to, of course, Double Fine, who broke my heart tonight. They literally answered me. I said, "Oh my God, Banjo!" They said,
I'm looking at that now.
But they then followed
no.
up politely. I thought,
no,
because I was worried about the tone, and I was like, "Hey, leave my boy alone."
No. Listen, I love Double Fine. Those guys and gals over there are incredibly talented. Of course, Tim of Legend. He's one of my favorite in the industry. I'm just saying that my heart. I'm playing Banjo, the old school 64 joint, on the Xbox right now, and guess what? I'm having a lot of fun. So I would love a new one. Too bad it's not going to be from them. But listen, Luke, it was great to have you a part of this, brother. Thank you. Like I said, I'm so glad we got a chance to have you on. We got to get you when you get some time off from school in the summer. We got to have you guest appear on the Xbox Factor podcast, because if you don't know, Luke was a panel member a couple of years ago during the Pandy when it started, and he always brought it just like you brought it tonight. Thank you so much, Luke. And all of your information will be in the show notes. So if people want to go and subscribe and listen to your incredible podcasts, they absolutely should.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. I see several friends also on the panel as well. Love to all of you guys. Enjoy it. Boom. I'll be watching from the back, cheering you on. See you, buddy.
Thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate it. Love you, brother. We'll talk soon. All right, Zemi, before we get you in here, my brother, who is nicely shaved. Look at that shave. I love it. I do want to bring in the Wandering Dutch first. Dutch, I know you're not feeling well. I can tell you got the migraine. Let's get your picks. And let's get you, if you have to bounce, brother, we want to get you out, because I know you did your show today, which I was in the chat, by the way. I was driving, so I really couldn't have answered everybody.
Did say that.
Listen, Wandering Dutch, you have been extremely honest, earnest. I would even dare say scornful on Xbox when they get it wrong. And for good reason. I've been that way as well. You keep it a buck.
Yeah.
But this show is big. This show is big for a lot of reasons. One, we don't know when Sony's is coming. We don't know when Nintendo's coming. We know that EA isn't doing one. Ubisoft isn't doing one. Microsoft is leading the charge right along with Keighley for Summer Games Fest. They need to deliver. My question to you is quite simple. What are they open with? What are they close with? And more importantly, what is the big one for you that makes this a 10 out of 10?
Yeah. I've got to disagree with Luke. I think they will probably give Keighley Redfall.
Okay.
I think it's the least hyped game out of everything, and nobody knows what it's about. Really, we don't know enough about the game. It is a new IP, but no one really knows about it to that extent. And I don't think there's any hype following Redfall as yet, because nobody knows really what the game is. So I think give that to Keighley. It's already pushed back to next year anyway. Give that to Keighley. He's got something to talk about. I think Hellblade will definitely feature. I would probably say Hellblade 2 might feature in the middle of the Xbox showcase. I think at that point as well, I think what everybody wants is that actual in-game gameplay. And by that, I mean somebody walking around playing it, some actual combat. I think combat's going to be one of the key focuses of the gameplay that we see for Hellblade as well. So I'm expecting to see some combat gameplay from Hellblade to showcase that. They've done a lot of work.
That would be pretty dope, dude. Yeah.
A lot of work on that. Obviously, we know she's done some training, combat training, to make sure it's all on point. All of the staff there have done actual combat training now. So everybody that's involved in mocap is fully combat trained to record and do some more realistic fighting, choreography, etc. for all of the moves in the game. So I think they'll really want to showcase that, and that will also coincide with a release date for the game. I think that's the middle of the show for Hellblade. What do they open with, though? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I suspect they may still open with Starfield. Get that out the way of. I think we will see two versions of gameplay shown for Starfield. I think, much like in Bethesda fashion, with the likes of Fallout and Skyrim, etc., they usually do some kind of musical gameplay cinematic trailer, shall we say, where everything's in game. It's clips of like fighting scenes and walking scenes and cinematic. Well, not cinematic, but in-game kind of biomes that they show off, etc. Just little clips from inside the game, little bits of gameplay, all mashed up into a little music trailer. A bit like the Country Roads one from Fallout that they did when they introduced Fallout 4. Something like that at the main showcase, and then you'll get the follow-up big gameplay reveal at the extended, where they show off the mechanics and what it's all about, etc., etc. And at the end, really, I don't want is a game we know about. What I'd
You're looking for a big surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'd ultimately love, I think, if it was, and I think we've mentioned this countless times, I don't just want a Killer Instinct. I think with the amount of times Ed Boon's mentioned it, I want Killer Instinct crossover Mortal Kombat. I think that would be the ultimate end to the show if that little kind of teaser that they've been doing for God knows how long, the little flirting they've been doing on Twitter for the last 2 years.
Should I bring up my conspiracy theory here about KI? We'll save it.
He had a pretty good one. I almost feel that if you don't say it, the people in the first of all, we got 450 people here, and we're only 20 minutes in. That is absolutely astounding. Thank you, Wandering Dutch. Let Everborn give you his spiel, because quite frankly,
please let it not be the slander about it going multi-plat, please.
No, relax. Okay, we're not talking about that right now. This is conspiracy theory land. This is not hot take land. Okay, so here's the thing. I find it rather convenient and interesting that KI just happens to be the talk of the town right before the show, right? And we know Gary Whitta is pretty good friends with Phil Spencer. And we know Paris, he's very, connected with Xbox and things like that. What are the odds that there's some kind of 4D chess marketing going on where they bring it up, have everybody talking about Killer Instinct like, oh, Killer Instinct is dead. Nobody cares about it. Let the community come back and show out for Killer Instinct, because they knew the whole time that they were going to show it, maybe with Ed Boon and all of that, at the show and say, look at us. Look at the mentions of Killer Instinct. It's trending right now. So now when they announce it, they look like the White Knights that brought back Killer Instinct when everybody thought it was dead. Think about these things.
It's a good show. I like the thinking behind it. It's very well thought out.
You know what I like is that we made it 20 minutes before we got an Everborn conspiracy theory. So.
I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one.
What were we on the bingo card for that one?
Dutch, before we move on, when do you think, because you said you think they give us a date for Hellblade, when do you think that is? Do you think it's 2022? Do you think it's 2023? Or is it further out? You think it's 23?
I think fall-ish.
Holiday.
20. Yeah. Holiday 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
I think personally, because they're one of the studios I trust, and I think when they'll give a date, they stick to that date. I don't think any other studio would be able to do that. I think Bethesda, on the other hand, give a date that they were happy with. Microsoft then said, "No, I think give it a bit more time,"
So
and decided to push back.
for me, any date that is a year out is suspect to me. Just being in software development in general, because anything could go wrong as you get close to it, and then games have a whole nother level of complexity where things can
The
show
only
up.
reason the only reason I'm happy to say next year for Hellblade is the moment Hellblade 1 finished, they were starting work on Hellblade 2.
That is confirmed. Yes,
But
that is absolutely confirmed.
You know what my issue with Hellblade is? Remember they said that thing where they were like, listen, when they talked about how they were working on the vertical slice, which is the one we ended up seeing a few months later. They said we're starting work on that now, and when we're done with that, we're going to ramp up into full production. If you're just going into full production, will they be ready for the end of 2023? I'm wondering if that's not going to be 2024.
It's an interesting theory for Everborn regarding the slander on KI. And maybe
don't worry, the Sega talk is coming, chat. I see them.
Don't worry, it's coming. Don't worry.
Drink.
But yeah, you know, great picks. Wandering
now.
Dutch. Obviously, if you can hang out, by all means, please hang around. If you can't, you got it. Let's bring in podcaster / website runner turned game developer, my very good brother Zemi Games. How the heck are you? You're looking very shaven, my friend. I love it.
Well, it's a special occasion, right?
It certainly is. It absolutely is. But listen, we got to get you on for your picks. Obviously, you were part of Breakfast with Boom. You were part of the Xbox Factor podcast. Obviously, you guest every now and again. We haven't had a chance to sit back and really talk about the show. So that's why one of the reasons why I'm glad I invited you for here tonight. How do you open this big showcase? How do you close it? And what does your heart's content make this a 10 out of 10 show? What surprise are you hoping they bring to the table?
Yeah. Well, let me just start with this. If they show half the things that that the three people prior to me have talked about, just half of it, it doesn't matter which order they put any of this stuff in, it's going to be a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
But with keeping fun in mind, I think Starfield. I think they're going to open up with Starfield. And the reason
now, how important is that to you as a diehard God Howard fan, and as someone that was obviously very excited for the game, but incredibly disappointed when it was announced for delay? Why open with Starfield?
Well, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Because they announced the game getting delayed alongside with Redfall, and then they kind of just didn't touch it from that point on, right? They just kind of went communication silent, right? And a lot of they got quite a bit of blowback from it, and that has died down, a lot. But I think opening that show puts everyone in the right mindset, especially anyone that might be coming into the show with still raw feelings about Starfield being delayed. Show an awesome gameplay trailer or just 5 minutes of like straight gameplay with commentary over it, however they want to do it, and then potentially maybe even give us an updated release date. Like, we know that they're aiming for the first part of next year, I believe, right? So Q1, Q2, if they have their timetables in order, potentially give us like another release date. Maybe it's 3/23/23 for all we know, right? They keep that that same date scheme, but definitely show us some awesome gameplay and open up the show with that. As for a closer, I'm definitely on Wandering Dutch's side. I think it's going to be something that we haven't seen before. It may be something that we've heard of, like we have some idea that it's happening, but we actually haven't seen. And so for me, I'm thinking maybe Compulsion, like Compulsion's game. I think that would be an awesome closer. I mean, whenever Phil Spencer was being interviewed, years ago, I think, and the journalist asked him, hey, what are like your main games that you're excited about? I think he mentioned the Outer Worlds, but then he also mentioned the Compulsion's game. right?
Yeah.
So I think it would be absolutely incredible to finally get that, whether it's a CGI trailer or gameplay or whatever. It, personally doesn't matter to me. But I would really, really like to see that. But then there's also part of me that's like, well, maybe they'll just make the closer Forza. And the reason I say that is because it's what they did last year. So maybe they'll do it again this year, right? And as far as I think we all know, like that's really like their main, big first party game that's releasing, in the holiday window this year, I think, unless I'm heavily mistaken. And I think last year it was kind of somewhat similar with Forza Horizon as well. I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's kind of what I think for opener. That's what I kind of think for closer. To mention a dream, because I have
What's
dreams.
the dream? What's the Zemi dream? We want to
Man,
know.
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Let me just go ahead and set the expectation. But like an Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. Oh
yes.
my God, I would fall in love. Like I would poop my pants and cry all at the same time. It would be great. Not for
and
me
rock
because I'd have to
yourself to
clean
sleep,
all that
no
up.
less.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
or
it.
an Alpha Protocol. Like Boom, you know me, man. Like if they showed an Alpha Protocol, I would be just jumping out of my chair, squealing like a girl. So like those would be big surprises for me. Yeah. But honestly, I think we're also going to see Hellblade. I think it's possible that they might give us a release date. I don't know when that would be. But State of Decay 3. I would love to see what's going on with that game as well. I mean, there's just so much, right? Indiana Jones, potential Gears game. I mean, there's just so much that they can show us. I don't see how this game or how this game showcase is going to be bad. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Listen, Zemi, thank you so much for stopping by, brother. Great picks. I love the Oblivion pick. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But you know something?
No. I have a dream, though.
Maybe that special edition comes with a little sack of the coins. The coins that you want 1 million of, so you can build a treasure chest. So we have to buy 1 million of those special editions. Zemi, thank you so much for stopping by, brother. We have even more royalty joining us. Rand Althor, the man with 1 million. Rand, how the heck are you, my brother? Welcome.
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing?
You are part of the biggest show. I mean, this morning at 6 when I got up, I had butterflies because I'm like, this is the biggest show I've ever put on. Didn't know if you were going to get a chance to make it. Thank you for being here, brother. I didn't send you the show notes, but I could just read it. It's super easy. What do you open the show with, Rand? What do you close the show? And for you personally, what is the surprise that makes this a 10 out of 10 for this show?
Oh, here comes the predictions.
No. You gotta stop that.
Inside.
You gotta stop that, OBM. You gotta stop that because people were running with that whole Final Fantasy VII remake thing. So.
Oh no, that has to happen now, Rand. Like,
I got the sloth label.
I literally said I made that
my backlog.
I literally said I made it up right then and there.
You did.
I have plotted time on my calendar now to play Final Fantasy VII on Xbox.
Well, first of all, if you don't know what we're talking about, Rand and Jez put on. Honestly, Rand, I've been listening to you for years, even before I was a podcaster. I got to tell you, brother, last week's show was one of the best I've ever listened to. Much so that, dude, it was phenomenal. The goosebumps, the hype levels, you had it all. Emotions, high, low, anywhere in between. I mean, listen, if Final Fantasy VII
weird
does
food
happen
choices,
well, that's what you feel when you have the whole show leaked to you.
Oh my God, poor Rand.
Unlike previous years, I do not know anything.
That's great.
The show.
And you know what? I'm actually happy for you because you want to be surprised like us.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, I don't mind spoilers, so that's not that big of a deal for me. Oh, Miles is here. I'm leaving.
Miles,
I'm out of here. What do I think opens the show? This is an interesting question because I've gone back and forth with myself quite often about thinking what's going to open the show. And for a while, I thought it would be Starfield. But I ended up going with Avowed.
As the opener.
As the opener. Because I think Xbox is going to try to set a, like, the word I want to use is precedent, but they are basically going to come out and say the show's about gameplay.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So
love
they're
it.
going to come out and and Avowed is ready to be shown, right? I think it's releasing next year. I think everybody that was holding out hope for a holiday 2022 release is,
I'm still holding out hope.
you know,
Rand.
I don't think that's going to happen. But, you know, maybe it will, cross fingers. But I think they're going to show Avowed, and they're going to like, okay, this is gameplay. This is what you can expect. Xbox Game Studios, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the lead off. And the end, another thing, like I've been going back and forth because there's so many things they could do. There's so many ways they could go about it. Like last year, I knew they were opening up with Starfield. Like I was told, like Starfield's opening. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That was easy. This year, so I think they're gonna do two things. I think they're gonna end with Starfield. However, they're gonna pull Todd Howard's gonna. In my mind, Todd Howard's the one that goes, but wait a minute. We got one more thing. And it actually ends with Indiana Jones because he's the executive producer on the title. So that's what I think opens and ends the show, Avowed and Indiana Jones.
I love it. That's strong.
That's
a pair of bookends, bro.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's like a surprise, right? Like Phil's playing Banjo-Kazooie. Everybody's like, oh my God, this is a sign. It's Banjo's coming back. You know, even though Double Fine shot that down today, didn't they, Boom? I saw they replied to you.
Hey,
You know
listen,
what?
listen.
I'm gonna be in a publication somewhere where someone is gonna try to embarrass poor Boom and say Double Fine killed this guy live on the air. You know what? It's
Hey, Boom.
fine.
Boom, don't feel bad. Not as bad as the Xbox account killed that guy.
Well,
Oh,
he
yeah,
deserved it.
about
That
the
guy was a
controller,
troll
yeah.
and a bigot and a POS. But I was, I'm just being a fanboy, and they broke my heart. But I still love those
Listen.
guys and gals over at Double Fine.
Boom, Sarah Bond can still come through in the clutch. She could find a partner, give them the IP, work on it. You can still have this thing. Rand, I need to ask you a question.
Is this a conspiracy theory that you
No,
always?
here we
He's
go.
always Everborn's in my DMs with 1,000,001 conspiracies every single day.
We just talked about
literally
that, yeah.
just missed one, Rand.
You missed my killer instinct.
Oh, I heard it.
conspiracy.
I heard it.
Okay,
I was
good,
listening.
good. I'm right. I know, and you know that I'm right because
Sure.
you're on the inside.
No, insider. Yep.
My question for you, sir, is Halo at the show
No,
in a larger capacity than the multiplayer?
Halo is not at the show.
Not
Okay.
343 doesn't want to show their face.
Well, they could be at the extended show, but I do not think they are at the main show.
I think they've already had their time to shine, to be honest with you. I think it's time to let others shine. I 1,000% agree with you, Rand.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to be at the extended show. It'd be probably great for Halo Infinite to be there, but I don't think they're going to be at the main show. I don't know, Boom. Like, what I want from this show is I want a lot of gameplay, which I've been told we're getting. I think we're getting more gameplay than like a lot of the previous Xbox shows ever. Yep. So like that's the main kind of focus, and that's exactly what the complaints have been for the last 2 years was, hey, where's the gameplay, right? So that's great, and I want to see like my big thing. If you listen to Xbox 2, is I hate the fact that Xbox just ignores January through August.
I love that. You said that on a couple shows ago.
Yeah,
you're onto something. Yeah,
I don't like it. It's like they shove everything to the end of the year, and it's like the beginning of the year doesn't matter. So like my whole thing was I want to see a proper roadmap for 2023,
a cadence,
right?
If you will,
where it's like, okay, you do, and like plus Matt Booty, Phil Spencer, Satya. They've been out there publicly being like, we want a game every quarter. And they've been saying that since 2019. Mm-hmm. It's 3 years now, essentially almost 4 years before it happened. So, like, I know they got Starfield and Redfall for, beginning of next year. But I want to see a 2023 that, like, okay, here's Hellblade 2 and here's Avowed and here's Compulsion and, like Diablo and Overwatch 2 and stuff, like where you can look at it and be like, all right, yeah, okay. It's not going to end up like 2022 where like realistically, what are we looking at for a release from Xbox this year? Forza Motorsport and As Dusk Falls and Pentiment, I think, are probably the only games coming. Because I think like Project Belfry, I think, is next year. So yeah, I mean, it all comes down to presentation. It all comes down to pacing. It all comes down to what's shown. Are there any surprises? But I'm quite excited. It's some of it's because it's like you don't know what's going to be there. So it's like, could Miles be right? Is Persona going to be in there? Like Miles has an Excel sheet from when we were doing his show on Saturday. So,
which, by the way, was an amazing show.
Get ready to take some L's, Rand.
Hey, man, I'm fine. I'm fine. The Capcom one doesn't count because they didn't announce a showcase.
Oh, it counts.
Before. No, it doesn't. It doesn't count.
It counts. Sorry.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Stop the count. Stop the count. Listen, Rand, brother, we got to get you on here more often. Thank you so much for stopping by. Super appreciate it. I know you're busy as all H, and
that's right. Well, I'm not that busy. You know what? I want to call out Everborn though.
Uh-oh.
Because
he's gonna talk about book reading.
Yeah. Like, listen. So I've been in a book reading mood recently, right? And Everborn got me onto a series, the Stormlight Archive, and I actually finished all 4 books before he finished the 4th book, and then I started another series, and I'm past him again.
Wow.
What's up with that, man? You're you're writing the comic books and all this stuff and your thing, but you're letting me pass you up? Like, what's going on?
I know, man. Blame Elden Ring.
Blame Elden Ring. But you haven't even... I beat Elden Ring, have you?
No. I'm on the Beast Clergyman.
Ask him last time he played Elden Ring.
When's the last time you played it?
I played 4 days ago.
Oh, okay. Before then, it was like 2 weeks ago or something.
Something like that, yes.
And this one's for Miles. Sekiro's better than Elden Ring. And with that, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Rand.
Hey, Rand, thanks for confirming my predictions. I appreciate that.
They're not predictions. I don't know anything. OBM.
I deleted my Final Fantasy VII Remake save on the PS5.
Idle Sloth.
I have my eyes on Idle Sloth's Twitter account right now. You're about to be slothed, I'm sure.
Doesn't matter. I just put out my video with everything I've already just said. So
awesome.
Have a good rest of the show, guys.
Thank you, brother. Go check out Rand's new video. He hasn't been doing a lot of them. Obviously, he wants to take some time off and kind of recharge the batteries. But yeah, listen, Miles Pierre. We're going to get you in here right now, brother. Great show this past Saturday. You had 2 behemoths on with you. How are you? Thank you for taking 15 minutes out of your day to stop by. You've heard, you've read the show notes. This is a simple question, but it's a daunting task to get it right. What do you open the show with? What you close the show with? And for you, as a diehard Xbox fan, what will make your heart flutter with delight, making this a 10 out of 10?
Oh man, first off, huge thanks for the invite. Again, thanks for setting all this up. I know it's a massive undertaking, a lot of people coming through, so really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really excited for the showcase in terms of what they should kick it off with, what I think they'll kick it off with. I mean, I think it's all right there on the banner. Starfield obviously is a huge focus for this showcase, and I think that is the right call to open it. People have been so hungry for gameplay in general. People want to see gameplay for all these previously announced Xbox games. Starfield, even though it's delayed out of this year, it is still probably the most anticipated Xbox game. You can go online, and everyone who plays RPGs, who loves gaming, is excited about Starfield. So if you can set the tone of the show with a big kind of 3 to 5 minute slice of Starfield to get people excited and set that precedent for this will be a gameplay centric show, I think that's the right way to do it. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. I expect Starfield maybe even a 1-2 punch with Starfield and then Redfall right out of the gate to say like, hey, we know there was some negative news. We know you were fixating on the doom and gloom of these delays, but we want to show you what these games look like. We want to show you why you should still be excited. And I think that would be a good way to kind of nip that in the bud. All the criticism, the negativity surrounding those 2 titles and the delay, just start with those and then move past that. The finale, you have to do something new for the finale, in my eyes. Nothing is more exciting than that one more moment, and it's one more thing that you didn't see coming or you've never heard of. So what I hope to see for the finale is I want to see Compulsion Games' new project. I want to see that close the show. The reveal of that to kind of, again, there's some fair criticism regarding Xbox and their acquisitions. And we haven't seen a lot of these acquisitions kind of bear fruit in terms of titles. We've seen stuff like Psychonauts 2, for example. But I want to get to the era where we see those acquired studios release their new games under the Xbox Game Studios banners for the very first time.
Yep.
And I want to see, titles like, or teams like Compulsion Games, who we happy few love the world, love the setting, but objectively there were some flaws with that game that a lot of people could point to. I want to see what this acquisition means for those teams and the games. So if they can get us excited about that with the new reveal of a Compulsion game at the end, that would get me really excited. In terms of what I really just want to see, Phantom Dust. Anyone who knows me knows it's Phantom Dust reboot.
That is the OG right there for you, brother. That's
coming
my
back
killer
from the
instinct.
grave,
Yeah.
rising
my
from the
Banjo.
ashes. Phantom Dust. It's not actually dead. Do I expect to see it? No. But what I hope to see outside of that, I hope we get Banjo in some, even if it's just a tease, even if it's just an acknowledgement that there is something happening. I think that would go such a long way for folks like you, Boom, who are just want and desire a Banjo so badly.
For years, and I've been booed and I've been slogged, and it's okay. I'm gonna carry these chains for Banjo-Kazooie. I'm playing it right now as we speak.
I'm not even the biggest Banjo fan, so this isn't even for me. Like, that wouldn't be a moment that would get me incredibly excited, but seeing the energy surrounding Banjo. I always talk about the Banjo reveal for Smash. That moment,
you took the words out of my mouth.
So big, so huge. The internet went so ballistic and wild for that reveal, and it just, it warmed my heart. Even though Banjo isn't a franchise that's super near and dear to me, seeing all that energy was infectious. And it's, we don't have that, I guess, mascot in the platformer space on the Xbox side right now. And Banjo could be that. And a lot of people want Banjo to be that. So if we could get something, I think Banjo would be such an amazing piece of fan service at the show.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love the picks, Miles. Thank you so much for hanging out, brother. Definitely appreciate you stopping by. Love the work you do with the community. Love the work you do over at Windows Central. And of course, Windows Central Gaming, your podcast is one of the best and something I listen to every week, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Gents, good luck. Have a great show, and I'll talk to all you soon.
Hey, Miles, I got to get on your show one of these days.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Badbit, before we get you over here, Joe, how the heck are you?
Today was a pretty monumentous day, so I'm doing fantastic. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. Listen, before we bring you in, I got to thank, we got a new channel member, Bob. Hold on a sec. Lorpel became a channel member. Bob, thank you so much for that. Super appreciate the generosity, you supporting Double Barrel Gaming. We have a message from someone. I think everyone knows who this gentleman is. Lethal Papa, the best mod in the business, who's been a channel member, folks, for 33 months. He says, really looking forward to the showcase. Hope Xbox can deliver. Fingers crossed. Keep up the great work, Boom. Well, thank you so much for that. And I will get to the super chats. Joe, before I get to you, I just want to bring in Kay Asante. Kay Asante, you're sitting there. You got the thinking cap on. You and I have been talking every day. What's your picks, brother? What do you open the show with? What do you close the show with? And for you, what makes this a 10 out of 10?
Honestly, I've heard a few folks already talk about it, and there's nothing new that I can bring that folks have already discussed, because I think we're all pretty much on the same page, right? The logistics of what exactly comes where changes a little bit depending on who you ask, but it's about the same idea. But for me specifically, yeah, like Miles just said, I think you start the show with Starfield. Right off the jump. Now you do that both, right? I know King was saying that you don't want to do that in the second show. You want to show it at the first show. But I think the first show is more condensed, and the second show, because
3 to 5 minutes.
That's right. As we've seen from the review, from the press and the media, the social media about it, the second show will have some overlap in addition to new content, expanding on what you initially saw. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you have that 5-minute blowout on the first show. Maybe you do a concise story trailer on the first show and show snippets of gameplay, and then on the extended show you blow it out and really have controller in hand and really show that. So I do think that you do see that Redfall and you do see that Starfield footage that you've been wanting to see, so you can actually put a quote unquote face to it, right? And of course, you'll get your. I do believe you'll get your motorsport, right? I think motorsport will be in the middle, rather than at the beginning or in the end, somewhere in the middle. You know, obviously we get our what do you call it? The ID at Xbox block where all the amazing indies are allowed to shine. Hopefully there's some room to breathe there, because it tends to happen where they come too fast. So sometimes we miss a few of them. But as has been said, and I think Rand said that, you know, it really is and should be about gameplay. So it should be a lot more gameplay focused than, you know, a few JPEGs here and there. Now, what do we end it with? I think something new. Right? I think something that we haven't seen before. Like has been already said, what was it, like 13 to 18 projects already known? You know, including all the teams within the various studios they own now, ABK notwithstanding. They got 34 teams. So, you know, 18 projects, that's not even half of what they can really show you, right? They can really take you know, show you different things, new things, right? So for me, and what you're saying as to what will make me happy, I want a 2022 calendar year release. Doesn't have to be big.
Strong piece.
It can be
Strong.
small. You know, it can be your fabled collection, which they faux pod some months ago and still haven't explained why the social media just like, you know, like came out the mouth so rigorously about it. Pause. We need to find out where that came from. Maybe it's because they you know, prematurely announced the Fable collection, which has been remade, which would be absolutely awesome. I would love that in the calendar year.
That would be that would
or
be
the Marcus Phoenix collection. You know,
yes,
something. You know, I want to see something, but I will end it because I know there are so many great content creators that I want to hear from, because it's informing my decision making as I'm listening to this. This is awesome. So I'm just gonna sit back and continue listening. But like I've been saying this on the shows, and I'll say it one last time. I just want to see them, because 2023 and beyond is going to be insane, whether we like it or not. It's just going to be nuts with all the stuff that's coming. I just want to see that when Plan A fails, where's Plan B? Where's Plan C?
Great point.
I want to see that kitchen sink approach. I want you to throw, like, I'm on the fence. I might be one of those fools who goes on Twitter and goes, I'm announcing that I may decide to think about possibly canceling the Game Pass. Ridiculous, right? Tell me why I should keep it. And I think they'll do that, and that's what I'm excited to see. So
I love it.
I pass the mic to the
strong,
great bad
strong
bit
picks.
and Matt.
Mr.
That's right.
Bad Bit.
Hello.
How you doing there, Joe? Welcome to the program, brother.
Man, I'm happy to be here, and I have a list of demands. Now, Mike,
let's hear those demands, sir. Let's hear those demands.
Do we want somewhat rational? I
want you to throw the kitchen sink like Kay Asante just said.
Cool, because I go a little, I start realistic and I end absolutely
Ridiculous.
insane.
I love it.
So first, realistically, this is what I really want out of the showcase. You know, Kyle and I talked a little bit about it on this week's episode of the Trophy Room, where we don't want Xbox to fall into the same mistake that we've seen PlayStation do time and time again, where it's like, hey, we're going to show you, you know, The Last of Us Part 2, and then we're never going to talk about it until, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years out, right? We're going to show you Spider-Man, but that's going to be like 3-4 years out before the game actually comes out. You know, we're going to show you Shenmue, we're going to show you Final Fantasy 7, all those awesome things, but they come out so late, and it becomes a little drawn out. Not to say those games aren't amazing, because at the end of the day, all these showcases is just a bunch of semantics. But what I would want to see from Microsoft is a ability to take a look at their competition and what they've done and say, hey, what if one showcase we show people what the concept of these games are? And then what if the next showcase after that, you're actually seeing that vision come to life? So we saw a whole bunch of CG last year. And listen, I ain't hating it because I liked what I saw, like the concepts that I saw. This year, I want to see gameplay, like honest to God gameplay. How many times have I told you I don't believe anything I see out of Starfield when they go, oh, it's an engine? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. You know, Watch Dogs was an engine. So I want to see actual gameplay of why I should be excited about this game, because we have a lot of ideas running through our heads of like what Starfield is. And if you ask one person or the other, Starfield's something different to them. So I want that concrete. Here's what Starfield is. This is not a simple, just Fallout with a different skin on it or Skyrim in space. I want this game to feel unique and different and have its own feeling outside of the art style. So that's the first and foremost thing. First and secondly, the extended showcase is simply that. Extended showcase. Like, we're going to see maybe a little few tidbits here and there from other games, but I feel in dev interviews, but we're not going to see anything too crazy. So I definitely feel like we're going to see Starfield gameplay. I hope they open up the show with Starfield gameplay. They either start it.
You know what? That's a running theme from a lot of people,
Yeah.
because obviously it was the biggest news of the year outside of the ABK deal.
And less is more, Boom. Because for me, it's like, yeah, look, I show me all 37 studios, what they're working on, whatever the number is. That's cute and all, but I'd rather see, honest to God, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games that actually have gameplay to them that I can actually visualize and get excited for. So Starfield has to be one of those. Same with Redfall. Redfall has a lot of hype to it, and I loved what I saw last year. But again, a lot of concept. Now that team is incredibly talented, but I need to see gameplay there. Halo. Let's talk about Halo. We all love it here, right? I do. I want to see it succeed, but it's been rocky. There's no way around it. Everything around it, it's been rocky.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I just finished the Battle Pass 1.
Now what are you going to do?
Both Battle Passes done.
Yeah.
Done. 100%.
So here's how you invigorate that franchise. Because look, this holiday is going to be tough for Halo. Call of Duty's coming in, and it seems like it's trying to reinvigorate that base as well, with Warzone 2 coming as well to consoles. And though they'll be joining the umbrella, that is still something that they have to be aware of. So if I'm Halo, I am showcasing their Battle Royale mode / game / whatever they want to take their spin to it. And I think it absolutely could be awesome. How many times have we said, hey, let's just be like an ODST drop into a location?
Love it.
Exactly. Maybe it's kind of like a Warzone-esque meets, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's something more Warzone-esque where we're using guns, we're upgrading them rather than trying to find like the gold or the green or the blue or whatever tier weapons. Show me that. Next, Gears of War collection. If anybody knows me, I'll always say Gears of War is my franchise out of Xbox. Amazing. I love it so much. Gears 2, fantastic game. And everybody's like, we're going to get that collection. I want it to be remade from the ground up. I want to
Unreal Engine 5, baby.
Exactly. Show us the glimpse of what Unreal Engine 5 can do. Show me it, give me it, and I'm going to play the hell out of it whenever that thing drops. All right. GoldenEye. Let's lower those expectations. Let's just lower them, and let's just be happy for what we get. Like, literally, probably the same game, but just like, an added analog stick. And Oddjob is the same size as everybody else.
So Bad Bit, let me add something for you on that one. I've
Are you an
actually
Oddjob
played
player?
this game. No, I'm not an Oddjob player.
Okay.
I've played this game. The Fabled game we're discussing has been leaked on the internet for about a year. You can hit the select button and switch between, just like Halo Anniversary. They made it in like 2016.
All
It's out there. It can be played. Dual sticks, the whole nine.
And Oddjob's the same
It's gonna
size.
happen. And Oddjob's the same size. Yes, he is.
He was deadly with those slappers, Joe. Deadly with the slappers.
My cousin Carlos, you cheating son of a bitch. I don't like you, sir. All right. Lower expectations. I'm just happy for whatever I get. GoldenEye is, honest to God, it's like my favorite Nintendo.
Hey, Kay Asante, I think you need to get one of those bleepers for me on GCC.
Oh, I have one. I've just chosen not to implement it just yet.
Okay.
That's okay.
Forza Motorsport comes out. It's beautiful. It wipes the floor with Gran Turismo. People call it the second coming of racers. And the reason why I want this game to score a 99 on OpenCritic is not because I care anything about cars. I don't. I drive a Corolla. I have nothing to brag about. Nothing. I don't even barely know how to change my oil. It's because I am in a heated fantasy critic league with my good friend Sean Capri of the Xbox Drive, and I need to bury that man. And he counterpicked Forza because he was assured that it was not coming this year. That stupid idiot. It's coming out this year, and it's going to be so good. It's going to melt your goddamn eyeballs.
I love it.
All right. We're almost done. I swear to God. Fable. Just show me. Everybody's like, oh, Playground. I don't even know why everybody's yelling about it. Playground is one of the best developers out there. So show me what you got. I want to see this. I need it in my life. Show me gameplay.
I love it.
Wolfenstein 3 gameplay this holiday.
Releasing this holiday. Thank you. Yes.
Crackdown 4.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Is
Is Terry Crews still the lead?
No, they canceled it. They're canceling it on the floor.
They're canceling
Correct.
Terry Crews. He's
Correct.
out. Okay.
And
you just broke Nick's heart.
So here's the thing. Phil Spencer comes out. They go, there's only one person to blame for Crackdown 4 being just completely destroyed. And that is at Insipid Ghost. That man is the reason why you'll never see Crackdown again. And they even reiterate a little further, because of Luke Lore, they're just deleting him off the servers. So have fun with it. And they say have fun with that.
So his achievements are gone. Luke's out. He's out.
I want him hunted. All right. No, don't. But it's the ultimate sport. Last but not least, let's get crazy. Let's all of a sudden, we get from one game to another, and then Phil Spencer comes out. You go, we have a unique partnership. Here it's not about acquisitions at this show floor. It's about partnerships with developers and publishers. Everybody's like, oh, Ubisoft Plus. I don't care about Ubisoft Plus. This is peanuts. I don't like it. Don't get out of here. It means nothing to me. He goes, it's all about partnerships. And with that, on to the next trailer. And what do we see? Nintendo Switch. You go, whoa, what's going on? What's happening here? We're going to see Game Pass on Nintendo Switch. It's going to be the cloud version. It's going to be the version that it's doable, it's feasible, and it's on Nintendo Switch. And now, guess what? Miyamoto comes out. Miyamoto holding up a Nintendo Switch with Game Pass. And he's like, here you go.
Wow.
And then he publicly, Miyamoto in English, breaking with tradition, just goes, and guess what, PlayStation? Suck my and that's it.
Wow.
That's right. That's right. And he makes a gesture as well. It's really insane.
This show jumped the shark too early, my friend.
Yeah.
Come on.
And there you go.
25 years in the making, Nintendo's been wanting to say that.
And then Miyamoto walks up to a PlayStation 5 like a calm human being would, lights it on fire, and then just takes a chainsaw to it.
Did you dream all this last night, brother?
Your console. That's what he says.
Your console.
Like a real rational man would.
He says like a real rational man would.
He goes, because I'm a man of my word. That's what I'm doing. And there's cheers.
Get this man out of here. He broke your show already, Boom. He broke your show.
There's a parade.
This is coming from a PlayStation podcast host.
My God.
And then after that, PlayStation 7.
I love it. Joe, you're the highlight of the show, my brother.
Thank you.
So much, Joe. We will talk, brother. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you all for having me. Make sure you check out the Trophy Room. This week, very big, very momentous Trophy Room Cross Podcast Beyond. It's out right here, right now. Damn. Literally, Kyle and me invade the show. It was an honor, a privilege, all that jazz.
That's awesome.
Sure
well deserved.
Awesome.
The hard work is well deserved.
Real quick, Bad Bit. I'm digging your appearances on DLC. Really cool. I was like, I'm cheering in my car. Like, yeah, that's the man. I appreciate you.
Every time I make Christian Spicer laugh, it's like I have achieved something. Like, that man's a comedian. He makes people laugh for money.
Indeed. Yes, very
all
cool.
right, everybody.
Cool.
Love y'all.
Mr. Bad Bit, see you on Halo. Look forward to helping, working with you to carry Luke again.
Oh, God, he needs it, man. He's awful. Are you playing tonight? I hope I see you tonight.
Probably. Yeah.
Excellent. Joe, thank you so much. Listen, we're gonna get Crispy Bomb in after Mav, and then we'll get John Wolf in, and we'll kind of just keep rotating Mav First of all, welcome to the program. Thank you for taking 10 or 15 minutes out of your day. You've been busy as all heck. You released one absolutely astounding video, 27 plus people that tuned in. I happen to be one of the people that you interviewed. It was what a job. What an amazing job.
Great job, Matt.
But here is an even tougher job. How do you open this show, Mav? How do you close it? And more importantly, brother, what is the one surprise you need to get this a 10 out of 10?
Wow. Okay. How do I open the show? Like, am I going realistic here, or am I going like what I want to see? Because I mean, there's lots of different
go either way,
scenarios.
I mean, you heard Bad Bit. Go crazy, my friend. Come on now.
Okay, well, if I'm going crazy, I'm going to say EA is going to show up and open it up with Command and Conquer is going to come to console and going to come back, make an astounding comeback, and it's gonna be huge. No, that's never going to happen. So I'm going to go realistic here. I think we need to see Avowed. I agree with Avowed starting the show because I agree with all those points. Like, it's ready to show. It's a big release that could potentially happen sooner than we think, either early next year, or maybe it can steal the thunder and come out this holiday season. With the rumors now of God of War potentially even being delayed to 2023, could it be that Xbox actually has still the best holiday lineup this year? It'd be absolutely crazy if that was a big ass twist, right? So Avowed, I think, would be awesome to start the show. And then to end the show, you got to have something crazy. I'm going to steal something that you said, Boom. Now, I'm going to steal from the showcase that you mentioned earlier, that with the 27 people. You mentioned the lights going low and the Splinter Cell thing. Now, we've guessed that year after year after year. However, this year's different because we know there's actually a Splinter Cell game that exists.
All right.
And Ubisoft has revealed the Ubisoft Classics and that whole scenario going on with PlayStation when they announced their PlayStation lineup coming to PS Plus Premium and extra tiers, right? So they have not made the same statement yet for Xbox, but we all know because of the other Ubisoft games coming into Game Pass, that is a thing. For Honor, Assassin's Creed Origins, as well as with that update is in Game Pass now. So they have held off announcing that situation, but they had to already because of the PlayStation Plus launch time, right?
Right.
So I think they've been holding off making that similar announcement because of the Xbox something going on with their show. The other scenario is there's not a Ubisoft show this year.
Yes.
Why is there
correct.
not a Ubisoft show this year? Because they're going to have a big presence at the Xbox Bethesda showcase.
You got my goosebumps going here, Mav. Keep it going.
Real quick, Mav. Let me tell you something that you are absolutely onto something. I installed Assassin's Creed on Xbox Game Pass for PC today, and it functioned exactly like the EA Play integration does. And it was very surprising to me. I've never seen that before because I use Xbox Game Pass for PC all the time. Today, I installed Assassin's Creed for PC, Origins, and it literally did that whole thing of it opens the other app, and I'm like, is something going on that they haven't told us about? So please, sir, continue.
Yes.
You're onto something.
They're going to potentially... Remember earlier this year, they said that more news coming later about Ubisoft Plus coming to Xbox, right?
Yes.
That was being held for this time. I don't know if it's at this show or the 14th show, but it makes sense without Ubisoft having their own showcase to have a prominent place at this showcase. And I think they're going to announce that situation with Xbox, making a big deal because they've already been getting buddy-buddy with Xbox and all of these games coming into Game Pass. They're going to announce a stronger Ubisoft Classics lineup than PlayStation has going into Game Pass. And they're also going to say, hey, plus, if you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus, you get Ubisoft games day one, and you also get a discount if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber as a Game Pass perk, right? Don't forget about all those perks you get. Maybe it's a $5 off or whatever. And then they're going to say, and it's also going to be the best place to play because we have Splinter Cell coming, and it's got Xbox marketing rights, and it's going to launch first on Xbox, on Ubisoft Plus, on Xbox, and it's not going to be in any other service on another platform. That would be how you end the show, bring in that Splinter Cell announcement, but you do it with the Ubisoft partnership right? So I think that is potential scenario that if you just kind of like put little scenarios together that's been out there, it kind of seems like feasible. Now, I don't know if 100% that's going to happen. Now, I want to get into what I want to have happen.
Okay.
Right? What I want to have happen is this list. I've gone over this list before, Boom, and it's absolutely astounding. I saw Kay Asante say something like 15 projects in the works, 18 projects in the works. Oh my gosh, friend, you are short selling
it's
Xbox
far more
here.
than that. It's far more than that. Yeah.
So
it's 18 that you know about through projects, project codes and whatnot. Yeah. But continue. Yeah.
So I'm going to run off a list, and this is what I want to see. I want to see gameplay of the games that have already been announced, the big AAA games. I want to see The Avowed, Perfect Dark. I want to see let's see, Everwild. What the heck is that? If I bring it, let's find out what that is. Finally, all the ones that have already previously been announced. I want to see at least a proof of concept of what that game is. Okay, but then guess what? I'm with UK Asante. I didn't want to see the slate. I want to see the future of Xbox showcased on a silver platter for all of us to see for 3 to 5 years to come, and know that everybody investing in that platform is going to have all these freaking games coming into Game Pass day one, and there will be no more naysayers out there. Everybody will see in front of their face with game names and titles proof of the investments at our disposal.
Strong picks, brother.
World's Edge has a partnered game that has not been announced yet. Coalition has a new project, and they also have Gears 6 that everybody can assume. Compulsion has Project Midnight. Double Fine has a new game that they've admitted that they're making. We don't know what it is yet. The Initiative has Perfect Dark, and Exile has a steampunk first-person RPG project, Cobalt, and they have a second project. Remember, we don't even know what that is. Then there's Minecraft spin-offs. There's Hellblade 2. There's Project Mora, Grounded, Avowed from Obsidian, another project we don't know about, the Josh Sawyer one, and then also Outer Worlds 2. Then there's Fable. Then there's Everwild. Then there's Forza Motorsport, State of Decay 3, As Dusk Falls, Contraband, Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6. Well, there's Deathloop's going to come, but that's already been released. Redfall, Mighty Doom from Roundhouse, that's on Android, but we also know there's a second, or that's from Alpha Dog. But we also know there's a Roundhouse game that we do not know about that has not been announced yet that they have alluded to. Indiana Jones. We got the new game from the Evil Within 2 director that has also been alluded to from Tango Gameworks as well. Let's see. Blizzard, we know that they're going to have some stuff. Remember, Diablo 2 showed up there last year, right? And are they going to potentially have a presence there? I would not be surprised if you didn't see Diablo 4 at the show this year, even though they are not acquired yet. Then you also have all the rumored projects, Certain Affinity. You got the Project Belfry, Project Vonnegut. You got the Halo side project, potentially. You got there's another rumor of a 1 versus 100 revival, Project PAX Day, Project Dragon, Project Shaolin, the Kojima Cloud game. I mean, these are the rumors now. Project Indus, you know.
Why they're having two shows, though. All jokes aside, this is why they're having the main show on Sunday and a follow-up 90-minute show the next on Tuesday.
Yes, because I feel like the second show is going to be utilized to showcase the live service, like ongoing things, like the Halo Infinite's like season 3 Forge stuff, like with the co-op. Remember, co-op is announced that it's going to be flighting in July. I think they're going to potentially showcase that for the first time on that second showcase, and also give us a glimpse at Forge mode, which is supposed to be launching in season 3 as well, right? So I think Sea of Thieves could have stuff at that. I think you might see the Forza Horizon 5 DLC at that second showcase. I think you're going to see new trailers for some of the games that we do know about as well, that they're going to hold off some of them that may be further away. And then also Age of Empires at some point is going to make an appearance and announce it's coming to console
100%.
day one.
Yeah.
So that's my predictions. That's what I want to see. And that's everything wrapped up in a nice little bow tie. I don't know.
Dude, I loved it. I love what you brought to the table. Love what you've been doing recently. Cannot wait to see your coverage. Everyone's going to be doing something this weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. Cannot wait to check it out. Mav, thank you so much, brother, for taking the time. And how's that Steam Deck?
Oh man, I just was playing with it. I was playing Shadow of Mordor a little bit. Yeah, I was testing that out because that's one of the games that says it's like works great with the deck or whatever. So I need to add some more of those
like
to my
a nice
library.
review. We need to all get together and like deck users have a conversation.
I was playing some Command and Conquer, trying to figure out the
I
controls for
understand.
that. I got to figure out more controls for the Command and Conquer remastered.
Hey,
but
Kay, am I allowed to be on the show even though I sold
Oh,
mine? Or am I banned?
anyone who's ever touched one. Sorry, everyone. I'm just saying.
I love it. That's
the
great.
screen on that thing is huge when you
look-
see it for the
dude,
first
look
time.
big in your
is.
hand.
Indeed
looked
it is, yes.
massive. It looked
It's a
absolutely
Switch
massive.
for
It's
adults.
free
I'm
over
sorry.
there.
Switch
It's
for
a
adults.
Switch for adults.
I love it.
Forgive
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Well, Mav,
it's not a
thank you,
toy.
brother, for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Later,
John,
Mav.
before we get you in on here, and before I bring Crispy Bomb in, I
Bye, guys.
have to catch up on some of the super chats.
Yes, sir.
The first one of the day is Kenta Wilson. He drops an outstanding $10 super chat and says Street Fighter 6 on Xbox is a win. Indeed, it is. Drawn TJ, generous friend of the program, drops a $5 super chat and says, hey, guys, I want to see Mortal Kombat come home to Xbox and see Ubisoft Plus in Game Pass and Splinter Cell / MechAssault. Yeah, MechAssault needs to come back. Eternal Shaddai drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Actually, he drops 2 super chats back to back. The first one of $5. He says, yes, Boom, I followed you on Twitter. And I told, and of course, he's talking about Double Fine. He told them that he wanted them to make it. And they told him they wanted to create something new by Double Fine. Great panel. And he also says, for my part, I believe that Xbox Publishing will show the new Black Myth Wukong running on the Series X. That would be dope AF. And I wouldn't be surprised for Ninja Theory to show off Project Mara and potentially Enslaved 2. That will be it for me after dropping a $10 super chat. Zatanna Bathory drops a very generous $5 super chat, and she says, amazing cast. Everyone smash that like button, hoping Xbox passed on Crystal Dynamics to pick up NetherRealm Studios. From your mouth to gaming god's ears. Your baby father drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says, Mr. Badbit has taken Speculation Town off the rails with a laughing, crying emoji. Drawn TJ drops an additional $2 super chat and says, I hope it's Ubisoft Plus Pro in Game Pass. I hope that they drop it into Game Pass and say, guess what? No extra charge. That would be dope. Brett Bingham drops a $5 super chat and says, nobody has said temper your expectations yet. That being the case, we should be in for a good show. Usually Greeny is the first one to do that, and he has not. And Drawn TJ drops an additional $2 super chat and says, Mav, don't forget Star Wars MMO. Indeed. But Crispy Bomb, let's get your opinion on this, brother. How do you personally open the show? How do you close the show? And what makes it a 10 out of 10 for you, brother?
Well, I've been sitting on this. I've been watching a lot of podcasts. Been listening to these guys. Somehow I'm still kind of unique in my thought process. Of course, I say start with Gears, baby. You know what I'm saying? Start with that Gears 6 teaser trailer. Let's say you wake up, they do a double reel, and you wake up as JD or as Dell, depending on what happened in Gears 4. I say you go that route. Then you bring Mike Crump out there, who I found out later. He's technically been the head developer for years. He stepped down when Rod got there, and now he's the head developer again. You bring him out, introduce him to the community, because a lot of people don't even know who he is. And you bring him out, and he says, look, we've been listening to you. We have the Phoenix collection, and we're going to show you something. You know what I'm saying? And they show a little, the visual fidelity and everything like they did with the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. You know what I'm saying? The OG. You know what I mean? You bring it back, you show Gears 2 and 3, and you show them in a better light. It feels better. It runs better. It's a little 5-minute spit, and you start it off that way. You go on to the middle is where we don't know what's going to happen at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You still got State of Decay 3 sitting out there. Okay. Think about that. They could show gameplay for that. All right. You got Avowed. Avowed could be ready to release. Obsidian is no joke, bro.
Yeah.
Like they could pull that out. They could give, at the least, I think you're going to get a release date. And they are pretty solid on their release dates.
Yep.
Okay. You also, Indiana Jones, we haven't seen anything. It was just a little tease. So, I mean, a little something more than that. It could be a little CG with some gameplay. I'll be fine with it. I mean, the extended show is the reason why I'm like, okay, now there's something else going on here. Like, now we're going to see even more gameplay probably Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's cool. And you're also going to see stuff that you're already playing, like Forza Horizon, stuff like that. Forza Motorsport's going to be somewhere in there, and it's going to absolutely destroy visually what you've seen from the next gen racer that came out earlier.
Yeah, GT7, terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I watched Mav, and Mav's probably still sitting there. He was laughing so hard because I'm like, dude, is this like a 360 game? No, I was joking, but at the same time, I was like, this doesn't look like what I play on Forza Horizon 5, and I have a next gen system just like everybody else. Sorry, bro. So I think they throw it down. They show actual gameplay. None of those reels where you're watching cars go by and stuff like that. That looks great, and then you go into the actual gameplay and it doesn't look so great. Show actual gameplay just like you did with Horizon 5. Do that with Motorsport. Give us a release date. Beautiful. Okay, end the show. I'm thinking that In Exile is ready to show something. I'm thinking that because they have been very talkative and they have RPG lineage that is ridiculous. So I say that they're on point as a studio. I'll tell you right now, Microsoft has purchased many studios that are on point. Like they actually make 343 look bad, to be honest. Like the studios that have been purchased. You know what I'm saying? They are really like, they rarely delay more than like a few months, if at all. So I'm thinking In Exile, whatever they're doing, or it's Compulsion, one or the other. And that's how you end it, because we really don't know what they're getting at. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say, if you ended with Starfield, if you ended with something we know about, if you ended with Hellblade 2, you know, but really like got deep into it, I don't think anybody would have a problem. So their options are ridiculous. And that's where I go and say, this show, I mean, I'm sorry, Xbox, like, if you don't absolutely, like, I'm talking like, screw.
You're talking about destroy the internet is what you want.
I want them to absolutely destroy everybody. I want people to sit back in their chair and be like, what did I just watch? What am I getting in Game Pass? And I'll tell you right now, here's some dark horses real quick. I think you're going to get gameplay and a release date from A Plague's Tale Requiem, which looked amazing. And I guarantee it's going to look amazing because Asobo is no joke as well. And that's going to be this year. So whenever they, that's going to be hyped up. But if they show it right, people are going to be like, oh, I need to play this. And trust me, I'm looking at my girlfriend and she's like, yeah, I love that game. She loved the first one. She is so hyped for the second one. And that's what
I got one even further. I think it drops day and date of the show.
You know what? It's possible because it's been so quiet. You know what I mean? It's been
remember that
quiet.
rumor popped out a couple of months ago that it was launching in June.
And they're I mean, imagine if they purchase. I say Asobo should be purchased.
100%.
NetherRealm, Asobo. If you're gonna go purchase route for the show, Asobo, NetherRealm, I am like, you don't have to buy anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but those are my predictions. They're probably completely wrong, but I mean, I enjoy the time with all you guys. I'm gonna go cook some food. I'll be back later.
Go take care of business, brother.
All right, later.
We'll
Great
talk
picks.
to you soon.
Great picks, Chris.
Listen, after I'm done with John Wolf, One Bad Mother, we're going to get you in here, and then we're going to get Noof Nukem. Welcome to the program there, Noof. How you feeling? All the way from Canada.
Doing great, brother. Great to be here. What a panel. Holy mackerel. K.S. Sandy, Crispy Bomb, Wanderer Dutch, Mother One, Everborn Saga, John Wolf. Doesn't get any better than this. And, of course, everybody's favorite host, Mr. BoomStick XL.
Thank you,
It's good to be back in the house, brother. Boom, boom, kaboom. Let's do this up.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, brother. John Wolf, let's get your opinion on this, brother. Listen, you've been on many of my shows. You're on Breakfast with Boom each and every week. We have a great show lined up for this Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for you.
Yes,
as
sir.
a diehard Xbox fan, brother. How do they open the show? How do they close the show? And more importantly, what big surprise, off the rails, balls to the wall, pause, do you need to see at this show?
All right, so every E3 boom since I can remember, I always get so freaking hyped up during E3 week. I know E3 is not a thing anymore for now, but forget it. It is E3 week in my heart, okay? Yeah. So this whole week, starting on Monday, I've been watching old E3 presentations, getting hyped up, and dude, and thinking about this show, right, and being on it with a great panel and yourself, Boom, to answer this question. This is exactly what I need from Microsoft, all right? I'm gonna throw it out there. So Show opens. There's a view of a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. All right. All of a sudden, pans back. We're in Tokyo, boys. That's right. We have Forza Horizon DLC coming in Japan. They did it. We asked for it. We were clamoring for it. We wanted them to take the Horizon series to Japan. They're going to bring it in DLC form. All right. So it's going to be called Tokyo Drift. And that's the way that you open up the show, get people hyped up for something that everybody's been asking for, and it's going to show
it be
great.
About family? I'm just asking. I'm sorry.
It probably, more than likely, yes, more than likely. So there's a couple of surprises in there, like towards the middle, because in watching all these shows that they've done year after year, there's nothing like getting things that you don't see coming, right? Or that you thought were unexpected. So one small game that I think will go over with the Xbox community because it will hit home. All right. 1 versus 100 is coming back, and it's available now. Okay.
That's
1 versus 100 gets announced. That's their small little, little thank you to the fans, nod to the old school fans saying we heard you loud and clear. You wanted us to bring this back. Here you go. Available starting today. Another big surprise, right? That they're going to have at the show, in my opinion, that I would love is if they somehow figured out and they gave an update on the Activision deal. All Call of Duty titles are available today, right now, after the show. Big. Okay. And here's the kicker. Here's the one no one saw coming. Modern Warfare 2 coming day 1 to Game Pass. After the announcement.
That would blow the roof off the place. Yeah.
They're not done. They're not done yet, Boom. Here's the big one, how they end the show. I'll be really brief. I know you got a lot of people swinging by. Here's the big one, okay? And I'm sorry if it doesn't come through. I'm going to try my best to paint the stage here for you. Coalition. They got some members coming out. They announced the Gears collection, the Marcus Phoenix collection. It looks great. Unreal 5. They redid 2 and 3. Looks fantastic. Touched up Gears Ultimate. Everybody thinks that's the end of the show. And the Coalition says, oh, we have one more thing for you. That's right. The Mandalorian coming 2024 from the Coalition. The Coalition deserves it. They carried the Xbox One generation on their backs. I think Papa Phil knows that.
Aid. That's great.
I think Papa Phil knows that. And their reward for bringing out such fantastic games during the Xbox One generation is that Phil basically looked to them, aka and they said, what IP do you guys want to work on? Just tell me what you want and we'll get it for you. And what did they say? We want the Mandalorian. We want to bring a single player experience. We need powerful IP. Let's get this done. And I think that's how they close out the show, Boom. A strong showing, of course. They show all the good stuff that everyone has mentioned prior, all the gameplay that needs to be there. But you start off the show giving the fans what they've been asking for, and you end the show giving the fans something that they can look forward to, a big title like Mandalorian coming at Xbox.
Dude, wow, man. You painted a great picture, brother. Great picks. That would be the showstopper. I mean, forget the Gears collection in Unreal Engine 5, which would be crazy. But the fact that the Coalition would be the team developing an Unreal Engine 5 single-player Mandalorian game would be bonkers. Great picks, John. Thank you for being patient and hanging out with us. Definitely super appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy the show, everyone. I'm going to go, and I'll be listening to the rest of the show. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you on Friday, brother. Thank you. Noof Nukem, before we get you in on Noof, we're just going to grab one bad mother who's been waiting patiently. One, obviously, you work with a couple of really good people in, of course, John and Nick each and every week over at the Xbox Era. We know that they have some high hopes. They have some high picks, and we know Special Nick, well, he's been getting it a lot right lately. For you, keeping your ear to the floor, getting some maybe inside information. What do you need them open the show? What do you need them to close the show? And more importantly, what's the one surprise that knocks you out of your chair while you're watching the showcase?
Well, Boom, it is time. And I'll tell you, you don't need to keep your ear to the floor to get insider information. You just need to come to the show and listen to Rand's predictions. And the thing that was killing me actually about Rand's predictions is that I was sure I was going to have something unique to him, because if you've listened to the last show, he talked about Starfield being in the middle. And I was like, all right, I got my thing kind of lined up pretty well here, my story. But when my analysis lines up with Rand's late changing predictions, I think there's a really good chance that what we're going to see is going to be that. So, but before I kind of like talk about that a little bit, when I'm coming into the show, and I think about what this is supposed to mean. This is supposed to be what I think Microsoft is going to be focused on as a theme. Last year, it was really all about Bethesda. They opened up the show with Bethesda. They ended the show with Bethesda. And that was, I think that was intentional, right? That was sending a message. That was to what they meant to the brand going forward. Now, for this year's Xbox, I think what they are looking to do and their theme is going to be about selling that dream. What's the actual new identity of Microsoft? When you think back to like where Microsoft was in the past, I think there was a time when they were very good at connecting with the customers in these types of events, trying to kind of sell what that dream was. Going back all the way to the original Xbox when they were showing us games that were not possible on other consoles. Unless you had a high-end PC, you couldn't experience certain things that they were showing there. They talked about the hard drive and what that was going to do for games. Then we went on to Xbox Live and they really painted that vision for the community and how that was going to change gaming. And a lot of that did come true. And then you moved on to the 360. And they sold us on this new vision and ecosystem of how we're going to engage in gaming. They brought in new pillars in terms of their IPs to complement Halo. And that was Mass Effect and Gears, which, at the time Microsoft was publishing Mass Effect. And then, Gears came out there and melted our faces off and said, this is the next generation. And then, after that, they brought on, in 2005, when they revealed the 360, they brought Final Fantasy, got its reveal on its stage. And it basically said, this is going to be a different generation for Microsoft, for Xbox. This is not what you knew. Now Japanese games are coming here. They followed that up with Sakaguchi, who brought in 2 games, including Lost Odyssey
and Blue Dragon. Yeah.
And Blue Dragon. Yeah. And really what they did is really quickly off the bat said, hey guys, pay attention to us. We're different. Right. And they did. They got people's attention, and that they did really well those first few years. Now, sometime after like the midpoint of the 360 generation, I think Microsoft began to play it really safe, probably for an entire decade. It was the Halo, Gears, and Forza formula. Then in late 2017, they brought in, Phil. They realigned everything, right? Phil Spencer came in, and within a half a year, they had E3 and they announced 5 new studios. And since that time, since 2018, Microsoft has kept telling us over and over again, through acquisitions, through just revealing trailers, that, hey, this Xbox is different, but they haven't shown us yet. And I think that's what this E3's theme is going to be about. We're going to now move from telling you we're different to showing you we're different. And so because of that, I think what's going to bookend the show is going to be representative of Xbox's new identity. It's going to be new studios or newer studios that are going to be pillars that are going to reveal
acquisitions confirmed.
No acquisitions. Actually, I don't think this is a show for acquisitions, in my opinion. But I do think they're going to focus on the studios that they brought in over the last few years. So studios that can set the bar and sell you that dream of what a Microsoft backed big project
led by gameplay is really
Yes.
the theme that you're talking about.
Yep, led by gameplay. And so, like when I think back, we always talk about Starfield, but when the one that I think's maybe slipped under the radar for a while, is one of those studios that Microsoft brought in 2018 when they more than doubled their studios, and that was Obsidian. As Obsidian, from what we understand, has been probably the most efficient studio.
They're the workhorse right now of XGS, 100%.
Yeah, and they are. If you wanted to bring somebody forward that's going to represent you as this new era, I think Obsidian is one of those studios that would be at the very top of that list. They've had over 2 decades of history with all types of diverse, RPGs that generally they don't miss. They've been very consistent despite that diversity. And this is their biggest project, in a long time, probably since Fallout Vegas. And this is the reason Microsoft got excited about them. We heard things, a couple years ago, and we don't know like where things have gone, but they were really trying to push the bar with like physics, and we kept hearing things from behind the scenes there. And I think if Microsoft wanted to do something that really kind of demonstrated, next gen tech, things like that, this I think about is why you would start there. And that's why, again, and I appreciate Rand for confirming that for us. But at the very end of the show, like when you talk about the bookends, I mean, you think about a main event, when you go to watch a UFC fight or any fight, you save you save the biggest draw for last, right? That's what's going to keep people in the seats the longest. And so I think the easy answer there, when you think about, who's the grand poobah, the crown jewel, the Mac Daddy, the Daddy Mac, that would be Todd Howard. But after he gets up on stage, what he's going to do is reveal Starfield, and obviously that is Microsoft's most important IP. I think it really in a decade and a half, really, you have to go back to Mass Effect and Gears to really think of anything that might even be close to a brand new IP that's going to be, published by Microsoft that they're going to own. So this is it's going to be the most important thing, and I think they are going to just save that for near the end. I do think it always makes sense to end the show on on a surprise, and that's the one thing I've been kind of scratching my head on. I kept wanting to go. I was like, well, Todd Howard's there. Maybe they pivot over to like a Fallout Vegas, and that was like my long shot. But I think Rand actually kind of clarified that, and I think he's right on that. I think Indiana Jones is probably the right answer. But I would like
if they showed even a smidgen of gameplay, that would knock the roof off the top.
It would. Now, if they don't have gameplay ready and they're, thinking about starting up a studio and recruiting for a Fallout Vegas or a successor to that, I think that would be a great surprise there as well. Mm-hmm. And that's something that people aren't talking about and don't expect. And that's something that people are asking for. And if Bethesda follows their traditional path, and waits until it's after Elder Scrolls with their main studio, we're talking 8 years away. So I think that they probably
OBM real quick. I want to give you a compliment, and I also want to ask you a question. The compliment, which I put on Twitter, and I'll say it again now, is your team and the Xbox era day one app. Absolutely awesome. I'm using it. I can't stop using it. People should definitely check it out. If you haven't seen it, it's so cool. It's how Game Pass should be, the full-fledged app. So cool from the Xbox era team. Question for you. You're talking about Indiana Jones. Is there no world in where you think that there's possibly some updated news about Wolfenstein that no one has heard leaked about and will get dropped here? Is that not possible in your opinion?
I mean, it's possible. I don't.
But
I mean,
probable.
Wolfenstein's probably coming. I mean, we know Wolfenstein's going to come eventually. They've said as much. I didn't have that in my prediction, so I'll just say that. Wolfenstein is something. Especially if they're going to show Indiana Jones, if that's where they move the resources to, then or if they put Wolfenstein on hold for a little bit, I think it might be a little bit before we see it. But I don't know. That's one I don't like.
I say so because I've heard people talk about Hail Mary, where Wolfenstein is announced and they've been working on it the whole time, and that's your calendar release for 2022, which I'm just like,
I don't believe that. But I would hope that I love the I would love that if that was true. If that did come out right away. And but I think they were trying to do something, like they talked about it a few years back. They were trying to do some different things, and they might have just decided to like continue to put that back in the incubator and then move everything over to Indiana Jones. I don't know though for sure. So I'm making like guesses based on little tidbits of information and filling in my own fan fiction. But some of the other things I do think they're going to try to establish with this show. So we talk about like kind of the beginning and opening, the opening and the closing. That's the theme. But the rest of this theme, again, it's like this is the next generation of Xbox. This is the new era. So in addition to that, I do think that there's going to be a focus on Japan, and this is going to be a great opportunity to finally show that, hey, we're different again in Japan. Just like we talked about 2005 Final Fantasy, that I think it was 2006. They brought in Sakaguchi, kind of revealed his games in production. I think that they, again, being at the early part of the generation, being that people still can't really get consoles regularly, now is as good a time as any to kind of really sell the fact that, hey, if you like Japanese games, actually come over here to Game Pass. Like we got them now. And I think part of that's going to be the Persona and the Final Fantasies, launching day one. But then I also, Mistwalker Studio, it was not too long ago, they admitted that they have a deal with another publisher to make a bigger game, something that's not just a mobile game. And so, I think this is it's as good a theory as any that Microsoft, Phil Spencer's been telling us that, they've been working in Japan and they have been for a few years. So why wouldn't they be one of the companies? Why wouldn't they be at the forefront to drop that bag and get it? And that does the third thing. I think the other thing Microsoft is really, wants to continue to lean into is some of the best memories of their history. And I think Lost Odyssey was part of that, so some fan service, whether that's a Banjo-Kazooie, a Killer Instinct, or a Lost Odyssey. I think getting
what about
one
a Blue
or two,
Dragon?
Do Lost Odyssey. But anyways,
Lost Odyssey's bigger. Yeah, Lost Odyssey.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So I do think, like getting something from that just putting it out there. And I think if you're going to talk about a game too early, doing something in one of those areas with like a well-known IP or well-known, lead developer like Sakaguchi, or getting a Banjo out there so you can start recruiting to build those types of games. I think that's where you kind of bring that in. But
I love it.
Yeah, so I really think this is about the new era of Xbox, and because of that, I think they are going to hold Halo back for two reasons. Number one, I think it's they had to bring in Halo, maybe a little bit undercooked when it came to the content last year because they needed to fill that gap, and they needed Halo to kind of, keep the boat afloat, I think, last year. And it kind of paid the price long term, as the content's not been there. I think it's the other way around this time. I think it's time for everybody else to kind of take hold, raise that tide.
Yeah,
and
Halo
had
will
its time. Halo will come back again. I think the time to bring Halo back in full force is when they do have that BR, not only the BR thing ready, or whatever the big mode is ready, but when they have everything else ready around it, so that it does feel like a relaunch.
Forge. Yeah.
I mean, that have all the progressions ready, have content ready to be lined up, have even have a campaign, have the you have the next campaign lined up to go with it. So it feels like not just a soft relaunch, it feels
a
like
relaunch, like a solid relaunch. Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, what you're putting down is just amazing stuff, brother. I love the picks, and I agree with you. I think Halo needs to take a backseat here. They gotta let the other titles shine. But let me bring in Noof Nukem and get your opening pick, brother. What are your picks for this show? This show has a tremendous amount of importance for Xbox because, like I said in the opening, they had a 10 out of 10 last year. They need to at least match it, but I think they could surpass it. For you, how would you open the show if you were the showrunner? How do you close the show, Noof? And more importantly, what's the big surprise for you?
Well, everybody that's been on the panel I've heard so far have had some amazing things. Let's hope that some of it comes to fruition. We know they have a lot in the oven, but now it is time to, it's time to bake those cookies and get stuff out in the wild. Now, me personally, I'm going into this year's kind of showcase with a very reserved kind of atmosphere. Like, I don't know. I guess I've set myself up for disappointment so many times now that I'm just, you know what? I don't expect much. Blow me away. The floor is yours. Come out and blow me away. Because like I said, I'm just between the delays and games that have been 5, 6, 7 years. I've preached this now for the last two years in particular. It is time now, regardless of COVID or where we're at in this world, it is time now to deliver. It's time for Microsoft to step up and show us why most of us have invested in this Xbox Series X, the world's most powerful console. I want to see games that are going to have my jaw dropping. You know what I mean? So where do we open the show? Personally, I think we're going to open the show. I think it's going to be Forza from Turn 10. I think they're going to come out swinging because, essentially that was kind of a game we expected as a launch title for the Series X, but it obviously has been cooking a lot longer than we expected. And largely so due to the fact that, the Horizon franchise has been able to kind of carry the load, and that helps us kind of sort of forget about it a little bit, and certainly takes a bit of pressure off Turn 10. It's not on their shoulders now. They're kind of going back and forth with an amazing franchise, and I think we're all ready for a new Forza. We want to see how the next evolution of Track Racer is going to come out, and I can tell you this, if they do show it, and when it does come out, Gran Turismo 6 is going to eat their dust, let me tell you, because I think they missed the boat with Gran Turismo 6, but this isn't about Sony. This is all eyes on Microsoft. I think that's where they start, is probably with Forza, something that's safe, but something that people would definitely get you excited, seeing that next evolution of Turn 10 and where they're going to bring that series. What was the second part of the question?
How do you close? How do you close the show?
You close the show with the Elder Scrolls 6 reveal.
Oh wow! Okay, no one has said that yet, Noof. That's a strong pick.
You come out and you show. I mean, we know they've got to be working on it. Like they've got to be somewhere further along than Rockstar is with Grand Theft Auto 6. So we would hope so. I mean, everybody wants it. We know it's coming, and why not? Why not now? Especially considering that the fact they pulled Starfield down, they pulled Redfall down, they've had some delays. At least get fans salivating, right? It doesn't matter if it's still a ways out. Get your fans salivating, and what a bigger way to close on one of the biggest, franchises on the planet, essentially, sold almost 1 billion copies. I'm just exaggerating, but you know what I mean? I mean, everybody and their dog has played Elder Scrolls and it's pretty much played it on every platform known to man.
Including refrigerators, by the way. No.
Absolutely. And then you come out as well with that kicker. It's Elder Scrolls 6 only on Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something like that along those lines.
Okay, and what do you want as a surprise? Like, honestly, we all have different opinions on what would make the show an 11 out of 10 for us. For you personally, as a diehard gamer, what is the one thing, if they brought out on the stage, you legs up in the air, you're falling back in your chair?
Honestly, there could be so many things here, Boom.
No pause. No pause.
No pause.
I was like, where is that going?
If you want my pants to fly off, here's one that I think
Gaming After Dark. Here we go.
So you're saying you're wearing rip-away pants, is what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. Only the best for this showcase. Just buttons and zip. No zippers, just all buttons.
Magic move.
Absolutely. Boom, boom, kaboom. I'm dropping one in your room. Let's go. But honestly, I think this would be really cool. Like, Microsoft is no stranger to having celebrities on the stage. Who would be more iconic than, I know this guy's a little long in the tooth, but he's loved by millions around the world, and I'm talking about the one and the only Harrison Ford to come out and introduce Indiana Jones and say that he is going to do the voice work in the game.
Oh, dude, I love that pick.
That would blow my mind. I think fans would be just like, wow, but you got to have him there. Like, we had Keanu Reeves that time, and that almost stole the show in itself. But get Indiana Jones himself out on that stage. And, because we know the movie is coming soon, why not basically almost say, hey, it's coming, and it's going to be almost right next to the movie. I mean, what would be a better play than that for Microsoft? That if they can get it out somewhere in that timeline of the movie, and again, Harrison Ford up on the big stage, man, that would be amazing.
Absolutely, dude. That's the best.
That's the first time I've heard that one. That's really good. That's a good pull.
That's
I have been wondering who will do the voice work. That is very interesting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's still acting, so I mean, why wouldn't he do the voiceover if they paid him a hefty, hefty salary?
Planes.
He's not dead yet. As long as they don't announce a Dirty Harry game is coming and Clint Eastwood's doing the mocap.
Well, that would be devastating. But, great picks, Noof, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you just got off of work, and obviously we definitely appreciate you being here. Thank you again for hanging out. Great picks. I really think that Indiana Jones pick is the pick of the night. Honestly, so far, it's just phenomenal, and it would be great. Thanks a lot, Noof.
No problem. I mean, if there's any, I had a couple more points, but only if I have time.
No, absolutely. Take it away, brother.
Honestly, I think this is how we break down the show. I'm thinking it's going to be something like Turn 10 does Forza. I think we're going to see in-depth gameplay of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice from Ninja Theory.
Nice.
Going to really want to show off that hardware. I think they're obviously going to do a big game drop for Game Pass, something like, I don't know what it's going to be, but they're going to announce like they acquired some kind of third-party stuff and they're going to day and date to Game Pass. I do believe, Boom, that we will see a Banjo-Kazooie remake, potentially a remaster, one of the two. Maybe even a new game, but I would put my money more on a remake potentially. Maybe even a remake of Banjo-Kazooie.
I like the remake. I like the remake angle because at this point, the remake, the game is old. I'm playing it right now, and it's extremely dated. A nice, modern, controlled, modern graphics Banjo of the OG is more than enough for me.
And that's a possibility because we know remakes and remasters are the hotness right now.
Yep.
I think we're going to see Halo Infinite co-op demonstration at this show, and they're going to announce that will come this summer. Gears Collection from Coalition and possibly a Gears 6 tease toward the end of the show. I think we might see a little bit more about everyone from Rare, but that's a long shot because Rare's got to be doing more than just Sea of Thieves stuff. I think you're wasting too much talent there if they're just be like Sea of Thieves.
100%.
I definitely think we're going to see a big show from Bethesda. They're probably going to carry the load. I think maybe some Starfield footage, potentially a new Doom or Wolfenstein announcement. And I also wouldn't be surprised if Xbox announces they're going to have a new custom console, either the Series X or the S, and potentially a new color scheme. I could definitely see them doing lots of new colors for the Series S.
Yeah,
because they're producing tons of them, and white is kind of getting a little bit boring there right now.
It is a little boring. Yeah, absolutely.
Flavor. Yeah. And keep the hype going on the hardware train. And as I said, closing the show with Elder Scrolls 6 reveal. That's pretty much my sort of wish list, and potentially maybe we'll see some of it on Sunday. And it's going to be an exciting time. I hope the Microsoft can deliver here.
Dude, great picks, brother. Thank you again for taking the time. Noof, we got to get you on one of these upcoming shows. To hang. Oh, well, actually, you're going to be on the Sunday show with us.
Sunday show with you.
That's right, brother. Well, listen, enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's Ains.
It's
my boy.
What's
up, guys?
Hey, Ains, thank you so much for taking the time. Everyone, we will get you in after Ains if you don't mind, because Ains is literally has people over. He is limited to time. Ains, how you feeling, brother? What's going on?
I'm good, guys. How you doing, man? It's an exciting week. I'm pumped, man. I'm like a little kid with these weeks, man. Like E3 week, I'm like a little kid.
It's Christmas for nerds.
No doubt, man. No, I'm good, man. As with a lot of us who work in this space or do stuff in this space, I'm busy as hell. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for this weekend. I can't wait.
Well, listen, Ains, let's get your picks, brother. Obviously, you can go off the rails. You can be, use logic. We like the off the rails. If you missed on Mr. Badbits, his was the best of the night. It was balls to the wall, crazy.
Really? What'd he say?
It was crazy. But listen, Microsoft is in a position that the other publishers doing shows. Well, there's not a lot of them. EA is not doing one, right? Sony may do one, probably in July is what we're thinking, right? But they haven't announced it yet. Nintendo, well, we don't know what they're going to do. Nintendo's a dark horse, right? They're going to have a Treehouse event, but we don't know what they're bringing to the table. Ubisoft, they're out. So Microsoft has the world's eyes looking at the brand, and this is a show that they're expecting to be one of the biggest. Last year's 10 out of 10 Can they do it again? How do you open the show? How do you close the show? And what, as a fan, do you want? You need to be there.
I haven't even thought about this coming in the show. I've been so busy and I've got family over, as you said. You asked me this in our chat, and I was like, I didn't even think about it ahead of time. I think they opened the show with Starfield. That's just
now, how important is it to do that?
I don't think it's as important as some people make it out to be. I think Starfield is going to be one of those games that speaks for itself, right? Long term, and we know that when Bethesda is on top of their game and their top tier studio, and I don't have to go through everything we all know here, but I think that game will speak for itself when the time is right. So, but I think it is important that they get it in front of people to let people know this isn't some cyberpunk situation. This isn't some like ghost game that doesn't exist. Here it is. It's coming. We promise. We just need a little more time. I think they have to show it out of the gate.
Okay, nice. What do you close the show with, dude?
That's a question that we all ask each other, right? And I honestly believe you close the show with something that is new.
Okay.
In my opinion, with these shows, I think it's best served when you see something at the end of the show that is pure hype, that is something you haven't seen before. I think, again, my stupid opinion, but if you're showing something that you've already know exists or already seen in some form, that's a little bit of a letdown for me. Unless it's like gameplay of something big, But yeah, I think you see something that is either a big, to your point, a third-party partnership, or something out of one of their studios, of course, that we haven't seen before. That's my opinion.
Nice. And what's the one surprise for you that you honestly, as a diehard Xbox fan, want to see them bring to the table?
You know me, man. It's sitting right behind me. I've talked about it. I think this is the 4th year in a row I've asked for it, and I'm going to continue to ask for it until we get it. And I know the Xbox camp is divided on this. Some want it, some don't. I need Banjo-Kazooie, man.
Yes!
I need him. I need him. He's sitting right here. I have him behind me on every show I've done for like the past week. He's somewhere in the frame. Like, I know people think that's not the big AAA game that Xbox needs, right? And that's true, but those games are coming. We know those games are coming, right? They got plenty of them coming. There's nothing wrong with taking an iconic character and giving us a AAA 3D platformer. Those
now,
games
would you be happy like myself? Like I said moments ago, I don't need a Banjo 3E. I don't need that, right? Because we'll get there eventually. I want the OG original done in a way that when you look at it and you can compare it to Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 5 and say, yeah, that's comparable right there. That's the kind of love and care I want with this game.
I'm good with either, man. I honestly think us Banjo fans are so abused at this point in time.
Yep.
That we're just ready to we're ready for anything. So that the original Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie are absolute classics. Like if you know 3D platformers, they're top tier classics. Like remake one of those, give me a new one. I don't care. Just show me that you have Banjo in mind, at least.
Just don't remake Nuts and Bolts. Let's
Nuts and Bolts is fine, and Nuts and Bolts looks good today. You play that?
It does. I was playing it. It's
fine.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the true dedicated 3D platform that we want to see. So
right, we want OG.
I need Banjo, man. I need him.
I love it. Thankfully, somebody other than myself wants a new Banjo. It's
there's dozens of us.
Yeah, dozens of us. I love that. Not even millions. It's just dozens. Damn it. Hey, listen, brother. I don't want to hold you up anymore. I know you got people over. Thank you for taking 10 minutes and stopping by, Ains, and certainly appreciate what you do, not only with the community, but what you do with Season Gaming and your weekly podcast. Love that. Everyone that's been on a guest here, you'll be able to just click on their stuff, sub them, follow them on Twitter, and give them some love. Thanks again, Ains. Super appreciate it.
No, thank you, Boom. Appreciate the shout out. Appreciate everything you do here, guys. I'm looking at all my friends right here. I got all you guys here. So I'm sorry that I'm so quick on time tonight. I apologize.
Don't be ridiculous. We're happy we got you for 10 minutes. Love you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Love you guys. Take care, and let's have a good weekend.
All right, so we saved one of the biggest and best for last. Everborn Saga. Not only are you going to deliver probably some conspiracy theories. There's no doubt about it.
Conspiracy theories.
Sega is going to somehow be a part of this conversation, and I'm all for it. You and I, we talk every day on the phone. You and Kay Sante, the three of us, we're three-way in all the time. Pause.
Please, thank
Serious
you.
pause. Like,
Thank you.
Serious pause.
Damn. What are
Listen,
we talking about here?
For you, what do you got to open up the show with? What do you got?
He's going to start with Sonic. Middle is Sonic. End is Sonic. The whole thing is just Sonic.
The whole thing is Sonic. I love it. This is great.
Wow. Love how Wandering Dutch stays quiet the whole time and then just drops a huge troll. Like, amazing.
Because there is no way I could top Mr. Badbit, I'm not going to go to Crazy Town tonight.
Okay.
That was my initial plan, but you can't follow
and then he
that
took the
act,
steam from you, right? He took it from
right?
you.
Because I was going to end this with the green from the Xbox turns to blue.
Oh God!
And then you see, but we're not doing that. Forget about that. Let's stay in the realm of reality. So, I like to read the tea leaves, and there's a lot of tea leaves going on right now.
Yes,
right?
there are.
Now, I'm gonna sound a little wet blankety here for a minute, but I have written off Xbox first party for 2022. That being said, I do believe that the fight is fixed in 2023. And I believe and we haven't gotten an official word, I believe that if, in fact, Ragnarok was delayed, it is because the rest of the industry has been put on notice, right? Because next year we're talking about not only Starfield and Redfall, but Overwatch and Diablo going into Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Next year we're talking about Avowed, and if Motorsport doesn't come out this year, it's going to be the top of next year, right? It is going to be insane. So that being said, because I don't believe they're going to be able to deliver on first party in 2022, meaning not in any huge way, I do think we will get something like one of the smaller games from the side projects from the teams. I do believe we'll get Grounded 1.0, but those are table stakes things. So what they need to do is, I think they need to fix some of the holes in the portfolio, right? And you alluded to this earlier, OBM, but it started with Street Fighter, but it doesn't end there, right? You announced top of the show, listen, if you're in the JRPGs, this is a platform for you. Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Those strong picks.
But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Now, if you noticed, and I called you right after this, Boom.
Yes, you did.
During the PlayStation show, I already told you before we got the official word that Street Fighter was multiplayer. I mean, I said it on this show months ago when everyone was wondering about it, but that's neither here nor there. I said that it's multi-plat. You know why? Because Sony likes to let you know when something is exclusive, right? They let you know you can only play this here. They didn't do that with Final Fantasy 16. Now, what if you find out that Final Fantasy 16 is no longer a timed exclusive? Right? So now you got Persona 5, you've got Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Integrate, and the announcement of the next one. And guess what? You're also going to get Final Fantasy 16 potentially the same time as PlayStation. That's one black eye. Now there's another black eye now, and I sent this to the DM. You already know there's another hole in the portfolio, which is a superhero game. And we also know that Microsoft is very close and buddy-buddy with Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that tweet from Gal Gadot literally dressing like a Series X and Sarah Bond commenting on it. What if they fill the superhero hole in the portfolio with Wonder Woman, which has not announced platforms yet?
That's a strong pick, dude. Yeah.
Right? So now we're starting to get a picture here. But I do think the coalition is at the show. Maybe they do this Gears collection thing, but I think we don't get a trailer for Gears 6. We get an announcement trailer for the other secret project.
I love it.
Right?
Love that pick.
Now, I'm not done yet, right? We know that Sega had to come into this thing.
There we go.
We find out that this holiday, Sonic Frontiers is day and date in Game Pass.
That's big. Yeah.
Right? But wait, there's more. now, we know Avowed is going to be there, right? But and Avowed is going to be the marquee thing at the show, and I do think it's going to be coming sooner than we think. But one game that we didn't know, nobody, and I was waiting for somebody to bring this up. We're going to see Contraband, and we're going to learn what that is, right?
That's for sure. Yep.
And I do believe we're going to see Compulsion's next game. I do believe we're going to get an announcement of In Exile's next game. And I also think that, and I know I've said I was against this before, but who's to say that Deathloop is not at the show with a date?
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a good pick. Yeah.
So now here's the big one. I think you are going to get a Crash game, and it's going to be announced at the show.
Whoa.
Right? But we're not done. I do think, I don't know who said it, but they were on to something. I think Xbox has the marketing rights to this next Splinter Cell game that's coming up, whatever the remake or whatever it's going to be. And they announced that at the show. And I have one more, and it's slipping my mind because everybody's been saying stuff the whole show. Starfield, I do not think we get in depth at the show, right? I think Starfield is a story trailer, and we get the 5-minute thing on Wednesday.
Yeah, what I said.
That would be a mistake.
I still think that's what they're gonna do.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think we see Redfall, and I do think they're timing Indiana Jones to release with the movie. And if they can get Harrison Ford to do the voice, as long as they don't get Shia LaBeouf to do the voice, like I think will be a win-win. So I do think
immediate L.
I think you'll see Indiana Jones gameplay. I think you'll see Avowed in depth. I think Avowed is going to be the marquee thing at the show. Obviously, Starfield is going to have a place, but I think Starfield is going to shine in the next couple of days, unless, like I said to King, what if the reason they delayed Starfield is because it's not in a showable state?
Maybe.
And they can't show it now, and they delayed it before the Craig moment. That's why everybody was mad at them with Halo, because they let it get shown when it wasn't ready. Now they see it, avoid the Craig moment, delay it. Everybody gets mad. By the way, genius that they announced the delays before, because now everyone has gone through their 5 stages of grief, and everybody that was crying about the delay is they've now accepted it, and now they can just go into the show with a full heart because they've accepted.
And you know who's extra happy about that announcement early, right? PlayStation, because now they can announce that God of War is also delayed, and everybody's already gone through it.
So I think the show is going to be about filling holes in the portfolio, and we're going to get CG trailers for the new stuff that we didn't know about, and we're going to get gameplay for everything except Perfect Dark. I don't think Hellblade is even at this show.
Yeah, me either.
I don't think Fable's definitely not at the show. Outer Worlds 2 is not at the show, and neither is what's it called? We said State of Decay, we said Fable. Perfect Dark is also not at the show.
Yeah.
Neither is Everwild. Other than that, I think you're going to get gameplay from all the major announced games. And I don't know how I feel about dates. And a lot of us are just not paying attention to, and I know this is going to be big first party stuff, but what are some of the third party stuff that people think we'll see there?
You know, I didn't mention mine. What would need to be there for a 10 out of 10 show? We need to see Ninja Gaiden again. That was part of the
that's a great
that was
one.
part of the OG Xbox. You know, they missed out on Knights of the Old
Hey,
Republic.
hold on a minute. Hold on.
That
a
was
minute.
one of the pillars.
OBM.
What's up? Yeah.
What if when they buy Sega, they bring back Shinobi in mitigating
I mean,
fashion?
absolutely. But
Now
but
we're
until
going
then, they need the marketing rights, and they need it. Until then, they can bring back. They can at least get the marketing rights to Ninja Gaiden and announce that it's coming day one to the Game Pass.
Itagaki wants to work with them.
I say hire that guy and let him do an original, a new revised spiritual successor. I agree.
Yeah, he's because he said that last year. He said he'd be. Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, it was last year. Yeah,
he started a new studio, and he said it'd be an honor to work for them. And we know Microsoft has second party stuff that's some Japanese developers. We just don't know.
I want to see what Sarah Bond has been up to. That's what I want to know.
She's been busy. That is for
they've been over there in Japan a lot. So yeah, they still haven't. I think that they hold it closer to the vest with second party deals more so than first, because obviously there's less controls there and they don't want that scale bound situation. Whereas, you know, with like an Everwild, they can keep baking that until it's done. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years from now. They're not going to do that with second parties, but like they have a really big second party budget. And I think the reason we haven't seen many of those games so far is just because of the pandemic and because they want those to be closer. So we might get some of that stuff this year. And I think we will, especially some stuff from Japan.
That would be great, and that's what a lot of people have been asking for, and it's what they've been promising. But listen, we had that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. We had almost 600 people here. We were able to get everyone in to give their points. We cycled through it. The only one we didn't get is Pong Soul because Pong got hung up at work. He was supposed to maybe be here around 9:30, but you know, we'll get Pong on.
Do you know who we didn't get on this show?
Who's that?
You.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm the host. I've already talked about it. Look,
we still want to hear it, brother.
The reality.
Refine. I heard a bit of it on ILP, but I want you to expound. Come on, I want to expound because you brought the house down on
Mortal
ILP.
Kombat versus Killer Instinct, man.
You brought the house down, my friend. Come on, go for it.
I'll say this to close out the show. I don't know who, because I got my heart broken live on Twitter by Double Fine. Unless they're jiving, right? As long as maybe
their marketing managers know nothing.
Maybe
don't worry
the marketing
about
manager doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe because you know I wasn't the one that brought up the rumor. Someone else brought up the rumor and said no, Banjo's coming. Fat Colt Eastwood was like, yeah, Banjo by that studio. I mean, listen, Double Fine is perfect for it. I really, in my heart of hearts, want to see Banjo come back. I think that it's been so long that they know that we've been asking for it. Why not bring it back? The whole Killer Instinct thing, and again, I'm not. This is not a rare thing, rare topic for me. We know Rare doesn't want to do these things, and I'm sorry to say, Killer Instinct, everyone's talking about it. Shout out to Paris Lilly, who, you know, he gave his take, got a lot of fan feedback, came back and was like, hey, listen, you know what? I loaded it up and it's we're talking about it, you know, and he didn't shy away from the criticism. But I love Paris's takes mostly. I just didn't agree with that particular one. And I'm glad that he's found a new love for it. For me, Killer Instinct is as important to gaming as Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, and you can fight me for it. That's not a problem. I think that it's such a unique fighter in its own way. How is it Microsoft, a near $3 trillion company, can't get a studio to do it or buy one? And we know that NetherRealm could potentially be that one. For me, you know, what do you open the show with? I think the people that have been saying Starfield are right. I think you need to let the people know that this game is special. I think Todd Howard has to walk out on stage, literally walk out with that bomber jacket, even though it's going to be 150 degrees in that studio, walk out with the leather bomber jacket and say, hey, listen, we know you have concerns. We know you were disappointed, but we are going to show you Starfield. Screen goes black. You see a trailer. You see some gameplay. We're all like, whoa, I can't believe what I'm seeing. To close the show, I agree with everyone on this. It's got to be something we don't know. I don't want to know about a game we've seen already. I don't want to see Hellblade 2 again. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anything that we've seen already. It's got to be something we've never seen before. Trailer, blow us away, screen go black, end of story, gameplay, whatever. I don't even know what it could be, because they have 50 plus titles in development, both from small single 12 person studios to 500 people working on games. I don't care what it is. It's got to be new. It's got to be something that we are not expecting. Blow our socks off. Microsoft hasn't had in years. Got that one more thing for you. We got one more thing for you. They have not had that in years, and they're notorious for doing it upright, right? Tattoos and all, Grand Theft Auto, whatever, on the arm, or Halo 2 on the arm. Do something like that. And you can, if you can do that, if you can show us, if this is the gameplay show as it's been talked about by everyone, it was something that Phil Spencer was like, no, listen, this CG trailer stuff, we need gameplay. If they make this compound us with game after game after game with gameplay, and they have a couple of surprises, this is a 10 out of 10 show, no doubt about that. But ladies and gentlemen, I got to catch up with some of the super chats, and then we will get everyone the heck out of here. Again, almost 600 people here. Please, if you're just finding the channel for the first time, consider subscribing. We're trying to march to 12K by the end of this year. We hit 10K early on the Iron Lords podcast in January, and would love to hit 12 at the end of this year. And of course, if you're here, folks, we had almost 600 people here. There's only 200 likes. I don't get it. I don't get it. People seem to be like allergic to hitting that button. Yeah, well, what do you got there?
Boom. Now, from my lips to the universe's ears, I told you were going to hit 10K right after the next acquisition. And what happened?
10K. Yep.
I'm telling you right now on the air in front of these 600 people and everybody who watches it later, when that Activision deal closes and that press release comes out, Boom is hitting 12K.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Listen, real quick, Elemental PO, good friend of the show. He's been a channel member for 3 months. He says, I say we keep it small because it can't blow you can't blow its whole load. Let's temper expectations a bit. And of course, he's just jiving because he drops a $2 super chat and says, I was kidding. Shoot for the moon, guys. Decado drops a very generous $10 super chat. He says, $10 says Aaron Greenberg is locked up in a room somewhere, so he can't Tom Holland anything. I like that. Kirby Zero Louise, good friend of the program, just a $10 super chat and says, if you're doing a Steam Deck show, then invite me. I don't have mine yet, but I have done a ton of research into it and its relatives.
We will be calling you Kirby Louise for sure. We will be calling you.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. He also said he mentions the Radeon 660M and the 680M. That guy knows his stuff. Rel drops an outstanding $5 super chat and he says this gets me excited. MK music theme gets interrupted by combo breaker. Scorpion versus Jago. 30 seconds fight. Screen goes black. I love it. That is dope. Elemental Pino drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, we haven't even talked about new controllers, but then again, this is an all game event, right? Yeah, listen, they can talk about controllers the next day. JC Colorado drops a $2 super chat and says, fire would be Conquer and Final Fantasy IX remake. Yeah, I'd love to see Conquer come back. They need platformers. Splendiferous drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, Nixus is Slim Jim's best friend right now. PC for all. And Game Players HUD Zero drops a $2 super chat and says, Everborn has picked my brain. Forgot about In Exile. And it says, one bad mother says, oh, yeah, okay, we have over 300 likes. Well, thank you so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, let's get everyone out of here. Dutch, it's late by you. You powered through the show.
You got one more super chat.
Let me find out who that is. Oh, yeah, I see it. That is JD Gamer. Hey, JD, what's up, brother? How you been? He drops a $5 super chat and says, I think they shouldn't show anything that's not ready to be shown. Rather it be Starfield. And hold on just a second. Rather be Starfield. or other IPs don't provide Twitter with another Craig moment. Honestly, good stuff. Brett Bingham drops additional $5 super chat and says, now that MS has the rights to Project Gotham Racing, Turn 10 can make both PGR and Forza Motorsport while Playground works on Forza and Fable. I've been saying that they need to bring back that franchise, and I think you're onto something. But Dutch, you had a show today, and you have a lot coming on. You have a lot going on this upcoming week, like everybody does. Please sell your brand. Tell everyone where they can subscribe to your YouTube channel, check out the future content, and more importantly, reach out to you on social media.
Definitely. Awesome show as always, Boom. Handled it well for your first mega show with lots of
Thank you,
guests.
sir. Thank you.
No, it's been awesome. I'm looking forward to the remainder of this week, of course, where the shows start tomorrow. Thank God, because it's been a bit quiet. We've been creating topics out of very little for a few months now, and we've been doing well. But I think now we're going to be able to power through and actually have a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of new games, a lot of surprises, a lot of things over the next week or so and beyond. That's going to keep us all busy. But yes, you can find me, of course, on Twitter at Wandering Dutch, on YouTube at Wandering Dutch. We are doing a live coverage of the Summer Game Fest stream tomorrow. Of course, after that, I will be doing the weekend edition on Saturday and on Sunday on my channel as well. We'll be doing a final prediction show a couple of hours before the live stream.
Nice.
Of course. With then anybody who's available that's hosting before they go off and host their own live stream reactions will be coming by, dropping off their final predictions, their last minute predictions before the show starts. And then, of course, we'll be doing our own live reaction to the showcase itself.
Love it, brother.
So looking forward to seeing everybody else's reactions as well afterwards. I always dive out and watch what everybody else has reacted to and how they've took in the news. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else as well and what they think of the news as it breaks. But awesome show as always. Awesome panel as always. Mother One, I'm really not sure how you're not already a panel member at this point.
I know, right? Yeah, he's got the key to the
Even
front door.
part-time.
Absolutely. But thanks, Dutch, man. Hopefully you feel better, brother. And thank you. Looking forward to your coverage. One Bad Mother, sell your brand, brother. Tell them where they can find you on Xbox Era, and more importantly, where can people reach out to you on social media?
Well, thank you once again, Boom, and I guess everybody else here who always is great host having me. I do feel like I'm part of the show when I come in, so always appreciate
brother,
that.
Your family.
If anybody here is looking for me, I am part of the Xbox Era group, and we got the website going on, podcasts, all those types of things. You can find me on Twitter at Mutha_1, MUTHA_ONE. One of the things I do over there is I host a Halo podcast called You Had Me at Halo, and that is every other Thursday now. We're back to Thursday nights at around 7 Eastern. And even though I don't expect to see Halo at this, at least not any major presence at this particular show, I think that's for a good reason, and I think there is a lot to discuss because, again, I do think that it's going to have its moment, and all the other this what I think is going to be a milestone show for Microsoft this Sunday. It's going to be one of those that will stick kind of in our memories along with some of their other bigger showcases in their history. I think that it's going to allow, like, the rising tide that's coming from all the other boats, I think is going to really buy some of those classic pillars for Microsoft some time to kind of gather themselves and to come back strong. Also, I am going to be with you on Sunday, and afterwards I'll be back with Xbox Era for their post-game stuff. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again in a few days.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm honored to be working with you as much as we are. And it's going to be Sunday's going to be a great show. Can't wait to see everyone's reactions. We're going to be doing that live here. We're going to be going live half an hour before the show, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to watch the show, and then we're going to do a 30-minute recap, and then we'll get everyone out of there. But thank you. Looking forward to working with you again. One Bad Mother. Of course, Kay Asante, brother, sell your brand. You got a lot going on. It's like you're going to be doing something maybe Friday. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, we're thinking about it. You know, myself and Everborn were not able to do the show last week. And before this week happens, and we probably do another gaming circle on Saturday, we thought, you know what, screw that, we might do it on Friday. So we're not gonna prep anything. You'll see
Shoot
it.
from
You
the hip.
follow us. That's right. You follow me. You follow Everborn Saga. Friday, towards the evening time, you will see our Before the Storm podcast. We'll do a special edition. We'll have a lot more chat, a lot more talk about what's going on, what we expect to see, and all of that other stuff. We'll bring some community members on board, so it should be a fun time. Just kind of throwing some content out there because, as you know, these weekends are getting real busy and we're doing different things. I might be actually heading to GCX this weekend. That's the gaming community expo in Orlando, Florida. I am close to it, so I might be heading out there, and God willing, I'll be able to hang out with Mr. Lord Cognito himself. So I'm excited to go check that out. So yeah, it should be an interesting couple of days, and of course you'll see me on various shows. I'll be giving my takes on the stuff we see, and you know, K Asante, TK0 Asante on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, wherever you want to find me. Follow me, I'll follow you back, and when the show goes live, you know I'll post about it. So I appreciate you coming to check out the show. And even though we didn't get a show last week, we're still getting more subscribers, and people are watching and giving me like feedback.
Well
and stuff.
deserved.
Love it. I love it. It's absolutely great. It makes me go, I feel bad that I couldn't have a show last week because of life, but you know, y'all keep us motivated. So I appreciate you all for continued support, and we'll see you guys, you know, as the week progresses, man. Enjoy your game of Christmas. I feel like Pong Soul. It is the golden age of gaming, people.
Well, thank you so much for being here, brother. Crispy Bomb, sell your brand, brother. Where can people find you on other shows? And more importantly, where can people find you on social media?
Man, this was an amazing show. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. At Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28 Xbox Live. You can find me tomorrow night, 8 p.m. prime time. We got the next podcast. Then we're doing a reaction show on Sunday.
Nice.
I took the day off, and I
Good
never
for you,
take the
brother.
day off. So Sundays are usually rough in the butcher industry, as we like to call it. So I have unexplainably been able to get that day off, and I hope, like everyone else, Xbox delivers. And I mean, you'll find me wherever. I don't know. Somebody could hit me up and I might join. So you never know. But we got Retro Renegades Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Course back here on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Primetime Gaming.
Thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate it. And last but not no way least, tell your brand Everborn Saga. Tell them about where they can find the incredible books and story on Amazon.com, and where can people reach out to you on social media. Uh-oh, you're muted.
Oh, check out everbornsaga.com.
Yes.
That's where you can everything you buy from everbornsaga.com comes autographed by yours truly.
Nice.
We try to match the Amazon prices, but if you are not in the States, we do recommend going through Amazon Prime because it works with your Prime subscription. Everborn Saga everywhere else. So that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Oculus, all that jazz. Saturdays with this young man here, Mr. K Asante, who is going to lose a bet with me soon, but we will talk about that later. But this Friday we'll be doing that, and then I'll be with Xbox University on X Class. And at some point we're gonna get on the reel back. I know I keep promising it, but it's gonna happen. But again, everbornsaga.com. Just go check it out. I guarantee you will like what you see.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, making this one of the biggest successful shows of my YouTube history, which has only been doing 4 years. I want to thank all of the panel members. I mean, we had 16 people roll through. Mag got stuck at work. That's why you didn't hear his deep voice and that bald head of his.
I was waiting for the commercial. That's why I came.
Well, they had us for 4 weeks. I'm waiting to hear back from them. We had 4 weeks of Manscaped, but just we're waiting for them to tell us again. But a big shout out to all the super chats. If I missed any, I apologize. This was a hectic show. I hope I got to everyone. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And of course, this Sunday. Tomorrow, no show. Friday morning, Breakfast with Boom. We're going to be covering everything that happened at the Keeleys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have an incredible panel, which I'll be breaking down who's going to be there. We'll be watching the Xbox Bethesda Showcase live. We're doing, half-hour pre-show, half-hour post-show, and the show live, and we'll be reacting live on the air for you. Hopefully you can tune in. I know everyone is doing something. It's going to be hectic, but obviously, we're going to be there. And if you want to stop by, obviously we're going to be there for you to check out. And of course, I'm going to close out tonight's show with something that's important to me, folks. Hopefully one day be important to you. And that's something that my father taught us when we were kids. And he said, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. He said, you live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you this Sunday on the Xbox Bethesda Showcase.